true. I have been down there for a full year according to this scenario. Also, I forgot to mute the audio. Well, now that I've had a nice year-long nap, hello everyone. I am Sacrabalic, your envoy of hope, and this is the second annual Dialogue Tree Awards, or the third annual award ceremony. Welcome everyone. Maid, how are you doing tonight? Now, of course, we all already know what it is. If it's the Dialogue Tree Awards, we gotta get some goddamn champagne going on. Let's go, baby. Oh god, don't explode everywhere. Don't explode everywhere. Oh, it's fizzing. Oh, there we go. Yeah, baby, let's go. I still do not have a champagne flute this year. Fuck yeah. Because I only remember to get one every ceremony. There we go. So we're using a plastic wine glass. I swear I will get one year. Maybe not this year, but here we go. We got the champagne. That's full body. Yeah, baby. You know, this is California champagne, which I'm pretty sure they only named a region of California Champagne because you couldn't have champagne without it being from Champagne, Italy. And so I don't know if this is true, but I'm pretty sure they just named a region of California so that California could technically make a champagne. Anyway, fun fact about this champagne, it is the second cheapest thing on screen. So here we go. Aw, yeah, baby. So what you playing, maid? As we get into the ceremony. So, needless to say, this is the second annual. I don't know what I normally say in the opening of the ceremony because I didn't bother to rewatch. But let's just go ahead and announce Dead or Alive Hardcore 2 Hardcore. Interesting. Always wanted to get into the Dead or Alive franchise. Do technically own a Dead or Alive game. Haven't played it. Always wanted to get into the volleyball series, actually. I was a lot less interested in it as an actual fighting game. Anyway, let's announce tonight's categories. Tonight's categories are, we have a few new ones. Playing as Ayane. Okay, interesting. More of a Tengu, or a Neo Tengu or Marie Rose fan, but who I don't think either of which were in the second Dead or Alive game. So take that how you will, I guess. Anyway, announcing categories for tonight, we of course have Album of the Year, with its nominees: Encore by Eminem, Recovery by Eminem, Relapse by Eminem, and Relapse Refill by Eminem. Clearly, I listened to a lot of music this year. Clearly. Another new category this year, we have Show of the Year, with the nominees Amphibia, Arcane, My Adventures with Superman Season 2, and The Owl House. Oh, Neo Tengu is the final boss. Interesting. I thought she came in later, so that is fun fact. Returning category, we have Worst Movie of the Year. Nominees for that are going to be Pineapple Express, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Great Wall, and Time to Duel. Just Tengu, not Neo Tengu. I'm only familiar with Neo Tengu. Clearly, I watched a lot of good movies this year, or the worst list wouldn't be so colorful. Movie of the Year this year, returning category, we've got American Psycho, Bullet Train, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, yes, and The Great Gatsby. New category this year, Best DLC, rocking up with Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Master Detective Archives Rain Code Season Pass, or Plus, if you will, the Neo 2 Season Pass, and Pokemon Scarlet, the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero. I remember the names of these. Returning category, we have Best Soundtrack. For the nominees for that, we have Digimon World Next Order, Hyper Devotion Noir Goddess Blackheart, Scarlet Nexus, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Returning category with Best Visuals, we've got Master Detective Archives Raincode, Neo 2, Scarlet Nexus, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Returning category this year, we've got Best Gameplay, we've got Neo 2, Scarlet Nexus, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. New category, replacing the Best Story award, we now have Best Narrative. Nominees for that include Master Detective Archives Raincode, Neo 2, Scarlet Nexus, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Lot of returning. A lot of multi-nominees, huh? Best Characters is a new one that is also partially replacing the old Best Story award. Nominees for that include Master Detective Archives Raincode, Scarlet Nexus, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, and Unicorn Overlord. Returning category from last year, of course, we've got Worst of the Year. Nominees for that include Digimon World Next Order, Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a Fragmentary Passage, Kingdom Hearts HD, Dream Drop Distance HD, and Kingdom Hearts 3. Not a great year if you're Disney, apparently. New category, which will be explained later, is Game of the Night. Not to be confused with Game of the Year, this new category's nominees include Neo 2, Scarlet Nexus, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. We also have another award that I forgot because I accidentally messed up, is the Grandma Sack Award, which will be explained later. Nominees for that include 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, Final Fantasy VII, Stardew Valley, and Zero Escape, Virtue's Last Reward. And finally, the event everyone is waiting for, we have the returning Game of the Year, with its nominees being Neo 2, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, and Unicorn Overlord. You can, of course, see those categories and their nominees on the Discord under the hashtag content section, or you can watch along. Now, of course, we have some background rules for what can and cannot win and cannot be nominated, but we're only going to talk about the nomination policy, because if I tell you what can and cannot win certain categories, it ruins the entire night's festivities. Hey, Alex, welcome back! How are you doing? You missed the award nominee announcements, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. You'll see them when they come up. Now, we are, of course, on tonight's second glass of champagne, or as I like to call to be silly, champagne. We're somehow going to drink this entire bottle by the end of the night, I'm pretty sure. Excuse me. All right, so, of course, the criteria for the awards, the criteria for the nominees are that I had to have played it for the first time this year. I have no idea what it is, but it looks amazing. Well, this is, of course, the second annual Dialogue Tree Awards, and also technically the third annual award ceremony I've done. So, the criteria for the nominees are, I had to have watched it for the first time, played it, watched it, or listened to it. Oh, excuse me. Listen to it, I don't think, is a real rule. But I had to have played it, watched it, or listened to it. I had to have played it or watched it for the first time that year, and also I had to have either streamed it or talked about it on Dialogue Trade. Is that all clear? Is everyone good on that? I had to have talked about it on Dialogue Trade, or I had to have streamed it and had to have experienced it for the first time that year. Those are our rules. Those are our criteria. Everything else is fair game. I will explain the award itself when it comes up. Are we all good to start? I think we're good to start. I'm going to be shit-faced by the end of the night. Anyway, how are you doing tonight, Alex? I don't know if I asked that. I'm already getting into the part where I'm drunk. I'm not. And that's, I think, the second glass. All right. Starting off for the first category. We're rocking in with Album of the Year. That's right, of all of the albums I've listened to this year. These are, of course, the 4 best ones. Now, you might be wondering, Zach, you don't listen to music. How many albums were actually eligible? And I think the answer was like 6. And all but one of them were Eminem albums, because if you remember, I'm going through an Eminem discography last year. Eminem had way too many goddamn albums, was what I learned. It's like 9. It's actually too many. Like, I'm gonna drop the pretense. The man needed to shut the fuck up, is kind of the issue. Okay, anyway. Of course, our first nominees, to reiterate, are Encore, Recovery, Relapse, and Relapse Refill. Now, what to say about all of these? Encore is I'm very tired, yet I have to stay up for 10 more hours doing 24-hour challenge trying to fix schedule. Also, Eminem is amazing. Well, I would have agreed to you before I started doing an Eminem marathon. Encore, I think, is a really interesting album. Gotta go sign myself up for a driver's license test. Oh, shoot. Okay, well, good luck on that. I hope you're not taking the test on a complete lack of sleep, because a complete lack of sleep is the equivalent of being drunk. So, hopefully the idea is to fix your sleep schedule and then take the test once you've slept, right? So, Encore is an interesting album. Like 90% of Eminem's albums. As an album experience, just signing yourself up. Okay, good. As an album experience, it kind of sucks, because that's sort of the issue with all of Eminem's albums, but don't let that count itself out, because Encore's main benefit is that it is a collection of a lot of his really best songs, right? It's a sort of graduation situation, where it's a lot of bangers on this one. Of course, we have Recovery, which I think is the first album Eminem made when he wasn't on sleeping pills. How am I already slurring? Which, of course, has the legendary song Not Afraid, which was at one point the most, I think, viewed video on YouTube. Pretty sure that's correct. Absolute banger, solid album. And then, of course, we have a lot more controversial picks for Eminem. We have Relapse and Relapse Refill, where he sort of delved more into a horrorcore element. And in these specific examples, more champagne? Okay, fine. All right, fair enough. There we go. Apparently I take champagne requests now. Didn't know about that, but I guess, you know what? Might as well. I have a whole bottle to get through. And we are getting through this bottle by the end of the night. So, fuck it, right? More of a horrorcore element, but unlike his previous earlier albums, his Slim Shady and his Marshall Mathers, the horrorcore is a lot less serious, a lot more jovial in this, a lot more playful. So, yeah, I would say it's a solid decision on this one. And if anything, the nominees of this really show how little I care about music. Like, I always argue that these awards, it's an honor to even be nominated. But if we're being real, for the Album of the Year award, you're kind of not worth the cardboard you're printed on. Coworker gave it to me, couldn't tell her I never drank it, so I accepted it. Okay, all right. Hey, nothing wrong with a drink. If you're going to drink, do it in moderation. Don't be like me. All right? Drink a completely normal amount of alcohol. Speaking of which, might as well taper off my... Okay. Anyway. Don't mind me. Anyway, yeah, so if anything is shown that I don't listen to a lot of music, I think it's the album of the year category. This fight is making me want to drink. Oh, shit. Well, are you fighting Tengu right now? Is that what's going on? Alright, so I don't think there's any reason to pussyfoot it around anymore other than maybe another sip of the champagne. It's time for more champagne. Excuse me. January is the only month of the year where I get drunk for 2 months. The thing about DOA is it's like Tekken. A grab can knock you out nearly your entire HP bar. Really? I've never played Tekken, I don't think. I don't think I've ever played DOA either. I literally own, I think, at least 2 different DOA games. I've never played a single one. Okay. Album of the year is going to be a bit controversial this year. Because for this year, I have decided that the winner of Album of the Year is... It's Eminem Relapse. That's right. Oh, excuse me. Fuck. You might be wondering why, and I honestly have talked about how I'm not appreciative of Eminem's horrorcore elements in the year of 2024-2025, I should suppose, simply because I don't think it hits as hard when we have actual rappers actually rapping around crimes they actually commit. It feels a little flaccid, and it feels as if Eminem is sort of throwing a bit of a temper tantrum. But in the case of Relapse and Relapse Refill, but specifically our winner Relapse, it's a bit different this year. Because the thing about Relapse is he's in on the joke. He's not taking it seriously. It's not just venting. He's having a bit of a goof with it, a bit of a fun. And I know a lot of people aren't a fan of the accents. Listen, I get it. I understand. But what I need you to understand is that a lot of Eminem songs can sound very samey. And in Relapse, you get a different experience every time. It's like a bag of Gushers. Sometimes you get a crack a bottle. Sometimes you get a 3 a.m. That's the fun of Relapse. And that is why it is this year's winner of Album of the Year and the very first Album of the Year. I think I have DOA 6 and 5, I think. I might just have 6. Don't quote me on that. But that is why it is this year's Album of the Year winner. All right, who is ready to move on to the next category? This is another new one. Wait, I have to deactivate it. God, I hope I don't fuck up this year. I specifically ate a whole fish dinner for this, and I had 2 protein bars to make sure the alcohol would not hit as hard this year as it has the last 2 years. And already, I think I'm drunker quicker than I have been the last 2 years. Already I'm more fucked up. Clearly I'm showing my age at this point. Alright, rocking it us off with a new category. We have Show of the Year. That is right. Now, of course, nominees, reiterating on this, is Amphibia, which is a Disney cartoon made for children, which can tackle surprisingly mature topics. Arcane, which is, of course, an animated League of Legends show. Featuring 2 separated sisters, 2 star-crossed sisters. We have My Adventures with Superman, a nice refreshing take of Superman, with a really nice take on Supergirl this time around. And of course, The Owl House, a fun little sort of almost magic school take, with a lot of opportunities for evil villainry. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Look, nobody watches the award ceremony for me to be sober during it, right? Let's be real, alright? Y'all know at some point I'm gonna get fucked up and I'm just gonna say some bullshit that don't make no sense. So that's where we're at already. I'm gonna drink more alcohol. I'm not drunk enough yet. That hit the back of my throat real bad. Excuse me. Victor! They replaced Victor's real lore in League of Legends for the Arcane one and basically killed a whole champion's lore because of it. AKA Blitzcrank. My experience with League of Legends was we lost enough people in my D&D group to play D&D. So we decided to... I don't think that's true. I think we had enough people to play D&D, but we decided to play League of Legends. And I liked Ahri because I'm drunk enough to admit it. Fuck it. Fox girls are sexy, alright? I'd plow the shit out of Ahri. Anyway, so I played Ahri. I had to, like, pay $5 for Ahri. League of Legends monetization is bullshit, by the way. But, yeah, so I played Ahri, and, like, universally, no one liked it. So I think I have played, at max, 5 or 6 games of LoL. I don't know how else to say it. I have not played much League of Legends. I was supposed to put my glasses on. Oh, I've heard about the... I have heard about the $500 Ahri skin. There we go. That was for Maid not to get freaked out. I forgot my glasses. Yeah, I've heard about the $500 Ahri skin. Specifically, it's like... Because I am subscribed to a channel called, like, Esports something or another. I don't know. I'm too drunk to remember. And they love to talk about Faker. And I've gotten to a point where I'm like, look, I don't know anything about League of Legends, but I know Faker's the GOAT. I know Faker's the GOAT. That's all I need to know. You played 5 games. I spent way too much time on it. Yeah, well, a major component of it is I don't really like multiplayer games, and I don't really play player games that far. I'm not, like, super competitive as far as video gaming goes. Because as longtime stream watchers know, I love playing on easy mode and cheating as hard as I can. So, excuse me. But I don't cheat on online games because that's super not cool. Because then you're not cheating you're not cheating the game, you're cheating other people. So I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the competitive aspect. I'm not a fan of the difficulty. And, like, even if I could cheat in an online game, I totally wouldn't because then you're affecting other people, right? That's not you having fun. That's you fucking over people for you to have fun. That's not chill. So, yeah, I'm not a big multiplayer person. Also, I just don't got that, like, competitive gamer in me. I'll compete at other things if I have to, but I'm not like, ugh. Another thing about old arcade DOA is the counter grabs. Yeah, computer can just go, yeah, fuck you, counter, and knock a fuck ton of HP off. That sucks. But I don't hate it. I'm like, no hate to anyone who likes their multiplayer games. It's very popular. I think, because, like, I think the most popular game is, like, FIFA, right? Yeah, it's like FIFA. So, like, no hate against anyone who enjoys their multiplayer games. It's just not for me. I'm mostly a finger play. What about Ultra Kill? Did you ever will play it? Here's what I'm going to say about Ultra Kill. I've never heard of it in my entire life. I think the closest I've ever gotten to being interested... I played a few MMOs. I fucking hate them, for the record. What the fuck am I looking at? I played some fighting games. I kind of like fighting games. Fighting games are basically Doom plus DMC. What the shit? Oh, I'm looking at this on Steam. Fast-paced, ultra-violent, retro FPS combining the skill, style scoring from character action games with unadulterated carnage, inspired by the best shooters of the 90s. Rip apart your foes with destructive and shower in blood. This is sort of hitting a niche that I'm not... Like, I am sure if you're, like, in the zone for this, I'm sure you would love this. I haven't really played many 90s shooters. I've played a little bit of Doom, and I played the final Wolfenstein level in Wolfenstein New Order. But I'm not a big 90s shooter person, and my, like, least favorite part about character action games, if I'm being totally honest, is the scoring system. So... yeah, it's not really for me. Again, no hate on anyone who likes multiplayer games, though. It's a totally valid section of gaming. It's just, like, not my section. Also, I hate MMOs. I cannot get into a single MMO. I've tried. The closest I've ever gotten was Realm of the Mad God, but the benefit of that is I don't have to play with anyone else, so... back when DOA had a healthy mix of men and women, my teenage brother loves boomer shooters. That's weird. That's a weird... Boomer shooters! I've heard that term before. That's a good term for it. Yeah, I'm not a big boomer shooter kind of person. But anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh yeah, we were in the middle of an awards ceremony. You know what? Look, we all know that I think we all know at this point that the objective of any single dialogue tree adjacent stream is to derail my thought process as hard as possible and make me talk about random bullshit. So so good on you. You're doing your jobs as the chat. I almost said comment section. God, I spend too much fucking time on YouTube. Let's see, I already announced the categories, right? Yeah. All of these shows are good. Unlike albums, I legitimately recommend all of this. Amphibia's good. Arcane's good. My Adventures with Superman's good. Owl House is good. It's all solid. It's all good stuff. It's all, like, arguably, I would say, I don't think there's anything less than an 8 out of 10 on here. I think they're all solid 8s. I think they're all solid 8s, honestly, if I'm being real. So, like, yeah, pretty good TV, pretty good TV shows I watched last year. Worth noting, this category does not preclude live action shows. It's just, I don't think I watched any of them that were worth a damn last year. I think everything I watched was animated last year. Because as everyone knows, in order to keep that fucking anime channel running, I have to watch non-stop anime. I have to, like, inject anime into myself in order to push out 3 videos every week. So, so I barely get time to watch fucking anything, alright? I considered an anime award way too late. I don't even know what I'd fucking do with it. I think it would be, like, best anime I watched last year or some shit. We'll think about it for later, for maybe like the next award ceremony or some shit. But it's not, you're not getting an anime award this year. But anyway, yeah, so where the fuck were we? Oh yeah. Excuse me. If I'm being honest with you, this actually came down to 2 of them, and this was one of the hardest awards to pick the entire ceremony. This, like, you wouldn't expect this to be one of the hardest ones. This is one of the hardest ones I had to decide between. And it comes down to 2 of them, which I will tell you after I show the winner. And so, the winner for Show of the Year is... Boom, 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 it's... I fucked up. I fucked up OBS, actually. Nope, that's wrong. Hold up. Hold up. I'm drunk. It's the Owl House. The Owl House has won. That is correct. Disney's The Owl House, which got canceled because Disney was afraid of having a bisexual heroine. Yes, Disney's homophobia canceled the best show on this list. Shame them. Shame. 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 Okay, yeah. My brother talked about the Owl House. The Owl House is fucking fantastic. Now, you might be wondering, I'm willing to say it, the contest between this, Amphibia is fucking fantastic. I don't want to shit on Amphibia, and I absolutely loved My Adventures with Superman. This is a contest between Arcane and the Owl House. I'm not gonna lie, this was Arcane versus the Owl House, and it was a fucking tight race, alright? I think the Owl House won by, like, a small amount of points, if I'm being honest with you. I think it is just an overall better, more coherent product. And I think it comes to a better overall viewing experience. But I do not want to dissuade anyone. If you have not seen any of these, I highly recommend literally all of them. Absolute banger shows on this, for this example. In fact, I was actually almost leaning towards Amphibia until I rewatched my old commentary and said that the Owl House was better than Amphibia. So I'm almost sort of banking on the fact that I was correct previously, which I probably was, because I remembered it better at the time. I got a YouTube video that said Disney is finally post-woke, and I'm like, oh, please, Disney was never woke. They're like a perfect poster of soulless corporation. Disney was a little woke. They got a little woke for a little bit of time. But they never got the most woke. You're correct. Disney was like soullessly woke. Like, other companies go woke, but they put their heart into it. Disney was like, we'll put as much heart into this as we can edit out for China. That's Disney. Disney puts as much wokeness as they can, as long as they can edit it for Chinese audiences. Okay, then. Agreed with everything you said. Thank you. I am known for my even-tempered takes, is what I am known for. Anyway, watch all of this. If you genuinely, I'm not fucking with you. If you haven't seen all of this, watch all of this. I do think The Owl House is probably the best thing here. But if you could only watch two of them, Arcane's second place, for sure. Like, real close to Owl House. To the point where I would say there are people who I genuinely think would prefer Arcane over Owl House, for sure. For sure. Actually, I think there's people who would prefer any of these over any of these other things. So, I think probably my biggest thing about this is for the nominees, if everything is an actual banger, I kind of just want to, like... Because I'm sort of like... As my content has almost evolved, it's sort of become almost less of a vlog and almost sort of like a recommendation series where I'm like, hey, if you haven't heard of this bullshit, check out this bullshit. Like, have you heard of this? Try this. Maybe you'll like this. I don't know. Maybe you'll like this. Anyway, where am I? Oh yeah, show of the year's over. Did I just say where am I? Fuck, oh god, the alcohol's already hitting. Alright, so that is show of the year. Returning category is worst movie of the year. Meanwhile, I'm rewatching an anime instead of watching a new one. I don't have time to rewatch anime. I'm too busy watching new anime. Worst movie of the year, we have Pineapple Express, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, The Great Wall, and Time to Duel. Now, if you're a longtime dialogue tree enjoyer, you might be surprised to see Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and Time to Duel on this nominees. And that is because, I'm not gonna lie to you, I watched so many banger movies last year that I had to put good movies on the worst list. If there's ever an argument that this specific award needs to get phased out, it's the fact that I needed to put two legitimately good films on the worst list, or I didn't have enough entries. So this might be the last time anything gets awarded movie of the year, just because there are some actually watchable films on here, and I'm like, this doesn't. Also, I kind of like. I don't know, I came up with the concept back when I was watching more garbage, and it was because the original holdover of Worst of the Year came from Cold Topic, where John watched a lot of shitty movies, and I don't think I personally watch enough movies to hold over a Worst of the Year list. So next year going forward, we may, I'm not saying for sure, we may not have a Worst of the Year list. So this might be the last year you see this, but yeah, look, I probably shouldn't tell you ahead of time, but like, considering I actually liked Puss in Boots: The Last Wish and Time to Duel, you can probably eliminate this down to probably one option, if you remember the dialogue tree where I actually talked about this. I need to see Ranma 1/2's remake, but I need actually get the means to watch that. Oh shit, what's it on? I probably have it because I'm subscribed to like every anime thing. Thought on House MD? I've seen a few clips of House MD. It looks like a show that I would enjoy exclusively through clips and not through actually watching. Oh, Netflix? Yeah, I have Netflix. I watched Puss in Boots on Netflix. I watched The Great Wall on Netflix. I can watch Pineapple Express on Netflix. I think I do that. I think I watch this. Yeah, I mean, I assume you don't have any streaming. Oh fuck! I dropped my cork. I assume you don't have any streaming services because your internet's balls. I watched it 2 times. It's good, low key. Really? I get recommended a lot of house clips on YouTube. They recommended me a lot of clips All I know is that it's never lupus, except for the one time it was lupus. House does seem like a show that I would enjoy the best through not actually watching it. So, I find the clips entertaining enough, but I don't think I would be, like... I don't think I would like actually watching the show, if that makes any sense. The other thing is I genuinely hate every streaming service I have used. That's fucking fair. I'm gonna... Look, okay, alright, hold on. How do I say this without spoiling upcoming Shouting Through the Chorus content? Do I have to worry about it? I think the episode drops on Sunday, doesn't it? Hold on, let me... You can't see me typing, but I'm typing something. Schedule. What was the last thing that came out? Charlotte's not out yet. Spoilers, I review Charlotte. March comes in like a lion, wasn't it? Yeah, so that makes that the next thing. So it's coming out next Sunday. Fuck it, I'll talk about it. Yeah, so, okay, Crunchyroll, for whatever fucking reason, it uses the broadcast order of the second season of Haruhi. Which is to say that it reorganized Haruhi in chronological order, and it doesn't differentiate between Season 1 or Season 2. It's like listing for Haruhi is Season 1 and Season 2 at the same time, but listed completely in chronological order. It is like... I used a guide to try and figure out how to watch it, and I still fucked up. It's like really annoying. Like, Crunchyroll does not give a shit about the programming. Speaking of Crunchyroll, excuse me. I'll wait for you to say that while I talk about these entries. Pineapple. Oh, I've been rewatching Dirty Pair. Now I have Dirty Pair on DVD. So you're probably like, what about Crunchyroll? I have, yeah. Dirty Pair is on Crunchyroll, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it recommended it to me when I tried to watch something from the 90s. Because I'm eclectic as fuck. And I watch anything from any decade. That's not true. I don't think I would ever watch an anime from before 1960. I have seen an anime from before 1960, and I genuinely don't think I would ever want to watch an anime made before 1960 ever again. If I'm being totally honest. Woo! Anyway, yeah, Pineapple Express is a weed movie about weed people smoking weed, and it's like Seth Rogen. This is one of those things where I like Seth Rogen, but like I don't like Seth Rogen movies, if that makes any sense. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is actually pretty solid. Excuse me, and it's not gonna win, and I think I said that. So I don't think anyone has to worry. The Great Wall. Right Stuff did a Kickstarter to get Dirty Pair Blu-ray and to dub it with the original cast from the original Dirty Pair dub from the early 90s. It raised $100,000 when Crunchyroll bought it out. Right Stuff sat on it for years with next to zero updates. Oh, that's shitty of them. I know they used a bunch of money that they were supposed to be using to, like, create, like, dubs and shit. And I know they used it to create High Guardian Spice. Which you remember I actually kind of liked. I'm not ashamed to say I liked High Guardian Spice. But, anyway. Yeah, Puss in the Boots: The Last Wish is actually a pretty solid movie, and it's only on here because I had to... Because for the best movie list, I had to pick only 4, and it didn't qualify for the best movie list, so it defaulted to the worst movie list, because I think I only watched, like, 8 movies. So, last year. Because I don't like movies, famously. So this is one of those awards that's probably going to get phased out if I can't actually scrounge up enough bad movies. Then acknowledged after a few people got mad about online and said, oh, it's still happening. That was in August. Maybe it's still happening. I don't know. Keep on their asses. The Great Wall is a movie about China being beset by monsters. So that's a movie that happened. And then, like, the women, there are, like, women... And they're, like, descend into the monsters to fight the monsters through, like, pulleys and shit. So this is about pulley monsters caused by an ancient empress, or emperor, or I don't remember The Great Wall that much. It was a very forgettable movie. High Guardian's Price is surprisingly... I totally agree with you. Surprisingly decent. People hate on it too much. I would have watched a season 2. Like I said on my review, I would have watched a season 2. And then Time to Duel is a fantastic movie. I think I, in my review, called it the greatest movie ever made, it's just like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Fan film where they re-go over the plot of Yu-Gi-Oh! So let's be real. Time to Duel and Puss in Boots: The Last Wish are good movies that, if anything, I would actually recommend that people actually do legitimately watch. And I'm not going to lie to you. They're not winning. They're not winning the worst of award. They're not even fucking competitors. Honestly, there weren't even any competitors for the worst of the movie this year. To the point where, like I said, this might get phased out. So anyway, the worst of movie this year is it's Pineapple Express. That's correct. Wow, shocker. Everyone is so surprised that Pineapple Express won when it was the only movie out of any of these that I said I did not actually enjoy. Because I was like, The Great Wall is a nothing film. And then I was like, Puss in Boots is pretty good. And then I was like, Time to Duel is like the greatest movie ever made. So like, yeah, shocker. The only movie I didn't like on this list is the worst movie. Wow. Oh God, everyone's fucking blown away by that. Wow. Oh my God. Oh, you're on the edge of your fucking seat. All right. We don't need to fucking keep this going. Okay, moving on to the next film is wait, why am I... These are nominees. This is available on Discord. Why am I building this up? I'm drunk as fuck! We have Movie of the Year! That's right, we're rocking up with American Psycho, Bullet Train, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, and Gatsby. American Psycho is, of course, a movie that is great because the director is bad at directing and making endings of movies. Bullet Train is an exciting, fun action movie with a lot of quirky characters. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is a good sequel with a good cast of characters, which I will talk about more after the award is actually awarded. And The Great Gatsby is a shockingly good movie with a shockingly terribly fitting soundtrack. The soundtrack's good, but goddamn does it not fit the actual movie. Anyway, so here we go. Excuse me. My face is numb. I'm so drunk, my face is numb. Okay, alright, I was expecting someone to actually derail me during this. I guess we can just give the award out. So, here we go. Boom. Boom! Best movie of the year. By the way, I think I would recommend all of these movies. Just as a heads up, I would recommend all of these movies right now. I might not recommend one of them, which I will talk about once the award is actually given out. But like currently, I would recommend all of them. Anyway, the winner of movie of the year is Bullet Train. I'm not gonna lie, I'm drunk enough that I forgot who I gave the award to. Yeah, Bullet Train is a sort of self-contained film starring... God, everyone knows I get Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise mixed up. I think it's Brad Pitt. And it's a sort of like action movie with a lot of quirky characters about like where Brad Pitt's just like a chill guy who's still doing mercenary work, but he's like on the other end of it. It's a really fun time. It's a really good movie. I mostly watched it by reputation, and I would say the reputation is deserved. Is it the greatest movie I've ever seen? No, it's not RRR, but it is definitely a solid watch, and I would highly recommend it. I would also similarly, meanwhile I'm drinking this fancy-ass Sayuri sake. Don't get too fucked up, mate. Don't be like me. I actually have something really important to do tomorrow, which is why we're streaming earlier than normal, because I want to sober up by tomorrow. Anyway, American Psycho is a really solid movie. I'm not gonna lie, part of the reason American Psycho did not win, in fact, was actually because part of what made the movie so good. It's a little cup. Okay, good. How is it, by the way? I actually don't... If you would believe this, I've never had sake. How is it? How are you... how is the sake treating you? But yeah, American Psycho is mostly a good movie because the director was bad at directing and fucked up and accidentally made a good movie. And I'm not going to lie, that did factor into the decision process. Gatsby was a surprisingly solid film, and I was surprised at how much I liked it. But I don't think I ended up liking it as much as Bullet Train. And then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was also a pretty great film as well. It's good. Nice. What are you drinking it in? Are you drinking it in a plate? You drinking it in a bowl? You drinking it in a cup? What's a beverage dispersal unit going on? The big thing about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is I remember it actually ended on a bit of a cliffhanger. It had the potential to win, but I remember it ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, and I remember it didn't connect it's very much a sequel movie where it's setting up a third film. And that's also why this is the movie where I would recommend with an asterisk. Because if the third movie is good, I would definitely recommend it. But if the third movie is not good, I would recommend only watching the original Spider-Verse film. That's sort of where I am right now with Spider-Man in general. Is like, the first movie's really good, and if the third movie's good, the second movie's worth it for sure, because it's a solid film. But if the third movie sucks, you would be better off just watching the first film and not having to deal with the setup. This is very much a setup movie. But I would say one of my favorite jokes in this is when, like, Indian Spider-Man points at, like, the museum and is like, this is where the British stole all of our stuff. I laugh so hard at that. It tastes kind of weird, sweet, sour taste with a hint of cherry. Interesting. I've never had sake. I'm going to have more champagne, though. You ever had champagne? I'm having champagne. Why do you own a shot glass? Okay. That's movie of the year. Alright, so next one is a bit of a special award. Next one we have the Grandma Sack Award. Now, what is the Grandma Sack Award? Well, as everyone who has been watching the podcast for the past 4 years knows. Oh, it's not your shot glass. Okay, understood. Excuse me. If everyone who has been watching the podcast for the past 4 years knows, I have recently... Klug? I'm seeing a G in there, Alex. I'm not drunk enough to not notice there's a G. I have no idea what the fuck... I don't know what Klug means. But yeah, so as everyone who has been watching the podcast for the past 4 years knows, I got Grandma Sack onto video games. I've had her play some video games lately. And so I thought it would be a fun little factoid, since I keep updating you on what Grandma Sack is playing. Right now she's playing Life is Strange. I thought it would be fun if I gave her her own little award category. So I made her pick between all of the games she played last year to nominate 4 games that she thought were the best of the 4 games she played last year. And then she also had to pick the best game that she played last year. I don't drink for various reasons, but I've had beer, didn't like, but also wine, also didn't like. Mead was also a little too tasty. I'm actually shocked to hear you didn't like wine. Wine is very much like grape juice, so that's sort of interesting. Beer, I'm with you on. I am not a beer drinker. I think beer tastes like absolute shit. In fact, I believe the German name for beer is Pissweisser, which is like piss water. Doesn't matter. Anywho, got to get ready. After test, sign up family. Member wanted to go out, and I already agreed. Wine plus Coke is best combo ever. Or of Jägermeister. Never tried wine and Coke. I've tried whiskey and Coke, and I hated it. So, well, if you're getting ready to go, Alex, thanks for stopping by. Hope you had a little fun with this. Yeah, fucking good luck on your sign up, I guess. I guess you're not taking the actual test. But, like, good luck up on your sign up. Good luck on your test if I don't see you, actually. Bumbus, you think it's called? Huh. And, yeah, the VOD will be available on the Sacrabalic channel at some point. Probably next month or something. If you see the Shootin' Doji video go up on Shouting Through the Chorus, which you probably won't because I don't put those out to subscribers. But if you do see the Shootin' Doji video, it'll be like the week after that, probably. But, yeah, have a great night. Bye-bye. Thanks for stopping by. Me drinking meat is me ranting about why Cannibal Holocaust is actually a thought-provoking movie and falling asleep crying holding a plushie of Hatsune Miku. So yeah, I don't drink. Hopefully I'll see it. Nice. Oh, so you're one of those sad drunks. I am luckily a happy drunk. If I was a sad drunk, I don't think these drinking streams would work very well. That's why I'm taking bitch sips from this tiny-ass cup. I don't fucking blame you. I very much recommend drinking water with your alcohol, just so you don't get a hangover in the morning. Because I don't know what you got going on in the morning, but you don't want to get a hangover. Anyway, yeah, so the Grandma Sack Award is Grandma Sack's 4 best games she played last year. And then she gave an award to the one that she thinks is the best. Excuse me. There is an absurd amount of alcohol in my system. But don't worry about it. This is not as drunk as I was during the Persona 4 Ultimax stream. I was so much more fucked up during Ultimax. So don't worry about that. Ultimax I still hold to being the only time I was actually in violation of TOA. I have to call my doctor tomorrow. Oh shit, what about? If you can talk about it. I understand that you may have some medical issues you don't want to talk about, man. Anyway, so here we go. 9 persons, 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Final Fantasy VII, Stardew Valley, and Virtue's Last Reward. Of those 4 games, which I've only played 2 of them. But we can't get the reasoning. But which game is the best? According to Grandma Sack, the winner of Grandma Sack Award is to order a refill and set up a visit. Gotcha. Understand. Nice. Good. Important to do that. As for that, it's rather feminine, so that tells you all the news. No, I figured I had a rough idea what it was about, man. That's why I was like, don't tell me about it if you don't want to. You don't got to. I don't want to like force a point or anything. Oh fuck! That hit. Oh, that hit my throat wrong. Oh. You may. Oh, this is why I do these streams. That is fucking... What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was supposed to announce the winner on this and I fucked up. Yeah, the winner is it's Stardew Valley! That's correct. The game I said that Grandma Sack had 500 hours in won. Was anyone surprised? When I asked her, I wasn't even surprised. I was like, wow, Stardew won? Wow. Who fucking knew? I actually had to convince her to take it seriously. I think she was going to give the award to, like, 999. Which I was like, Grandma, give it to the fucking one that you think. Is there a way for me to nominate you to host the fucking Oscars? I have no idea. I actually don't know how they choose the Oscars host. Maybe. I won't win, but maybe. I'd host the... Look, here, okay, actually, I don't know how I would get there. They'd have to pay for my ticket. If they pay for my ticket in my hotel to host the Oscars, I would host the fucking Oscars. I want to see if Chuck has to host that. I'd do it. I'd do it. I really would do it. I think that'd be hilarious. But anyway, yeah, so she had like 500 hours in Stardew Valley. It's like crazy. So it's like not surprising to me that she thought Stardew Valley. If anything, I like the establishment of the Grandma Sack Award because I'm more interested in what she's going to nominate next year. So. Yeah, Stardew Valley. Excuse me. All right. Moving on to the next award is Best DLC Expansion. By the way, as a reminder, the awards are arranged in such a way that I think they're the most important and the most prestigious. Now, this isn't necessarily true. I played every game on that list but Stardew Valley. Oh, what would you give it to? I guess is that question. Now, as far as Best DLC Expansion, this is a new award, so let me tell you about it. What this is essentially, this is the best DLC, Final Fantasy VII. I would probably agree with you, if I'm being honest with you. But I haven't played any of the Nonary games, so who knows on that. So Best DLC Expansion is, in order to qualify for this, your game has to have a DLC, and the DLC has to add an appreciable, significant amount of time to the runtime of your game. Excuse me. 99 is the best and only worth your time. Remember that Grandma Sack prefers Virtue's Last Reward. I remember she was a big Virtue's Last Reward fan. I know she absolutely was not a Zero Escape fan. She like complained constantly about how repetitively. Excuse me. She complained constantly about Zero Escape. She was not a fan of Zero Escape. I don't think I ever bought Al Salmon in Vials. I know it's on Steam. I don't think I ever picked it up. Anyway, yeah, for Best DLC Expansion, you have to be a DLC, and you have to, of a game, and you have to add an appreciable amount of time to your game's runtime. So, it is worth noting that for Best DLC, AI, oh yeah, you're right, you've explained this before, I'm just, I like see it, and I'm like, Al for sure, Al Salmonin. Anyway, yeah, so you have to add an appreciable amount of time. Now, what is an appreciable amount of time? Going right out of the bottle after being hit with the red finger down. What is an appreciable amount of time is not clear. Because I don't have a specific definition. I'm thinking at least 1 hour of gameplay has to be added by your DLC expansion. The thing is, expansions to video games have been mostly phased out. So, but it's sort of like a reference to old school PC gaming, where games used to have expansions that added a bunch of new quests, usually a new area, and a whole bunch of extra content. And so there's sort of this is a vibes-based award. I determine whether you qualify as a DLC expansion based on vibes. And everything here qualifies as a DLC based on vibes. I think there was at least one other, which was Remind, which also qualified as a DLC expansion. But, like, I want to not have things like, this adds a weapon to your game as a DLC. So hopefully this appears every year. I might not play enough games with DLC expansions for this to qualify. But yeah, so you might also notice I kind of shit-talked Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. I didn't have a lot of entries. It was like literally Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree or Remind. One of those had to make the list, and it sure as fuck was not going to be Remind. So this year on DLC, also worth noting, the game is not what wins this award. The game does not win. A game can be terrible. The game could even win Worst of the Year, in fact, and still get Best DLC expansion if the DLC is winning. The DLC wins the award. The game does not win. That is very important. I don't think this year it's important, but it might be important going forward. So I want to be very clear about this rule. Anyway, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree is a DLC I did not like, and I'm too drunk to even pretend I liked and pretend it even had a chance of winning. Master Detective Archives Rain Code's DLC. This added like 5 new chapters which more heavily explored all of the characters and their thought processes. This was pretty nice. It added a bunch of new mysteries and it gave us a little additional insight on characters that were already pretty strong. Next up was Neo 2's DLC, which gave us a progressively further back in time exploration of what was going on in the universe, and better in the universe of Neo, obviously, and allowed the series to better connect to Neo 1, which is a game that was only made solid based on Neo 2 existing. Like, Neo 1 was terrible, but Neo 2 makes the game better retroactively. And then the Treasure of Area Zero includes, obviously, the Teal Mask, the Treasure of Area Zero, or whatever the fucking second DLC was called, and actually Mechapacha Mayhem. I decided to throw in there, but that wouldn't actually impact the result if it wasn't in anyway. Which I described as being better than actually Pokemon Scarlet. So, where are we on Best DLC Expansion? That's right, we have more alcohol. I'm going to let you all in on a secret. There's a non-zero chance that I'm drunk enough to vomit tonight. And if I vomit tonight, I'm going to keep streaming. I don't care about the Twitch TOS. You can ban me if you want. You can ban me if I want. I'm going to keep streaming. We're getting through it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Anyway, tonight, Best DLC Expansion is... I mean, let's be real. Twitch sucks anyway. Like, Twitch is a terrible website. There's a reason it started to lose out to, like, YouTube streaming, honestly. Like, who fucking cares? I don't care. I'll figure out YouTube anyway. Best DLC Expansion. It goes to... Oh, hold up. You know, with Loki Murky White in this sake, it makes me think that meme consumed the cum chalice. Too bad I don't have a chalice. The Yandere Dev meme where he's like drinking some sort of like white fluid out of a chalice. I think I don't know what he was drinking out of that chalice, but I think drinking an entire chalice of cum would be, like, completely putrid. Like, I think it's too much cum to drink. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're being real, I think, like, a chalice of cum is too much cum. Cum smells bad. I've talked about before how I can't smell, so I don't know. I don't know if that's true. But like that's a lot of cum. That's a lot of cum. It tastes even worse if there's too much of it. No, like yeah, I get that. It's a lot of cum. It's a lot of cum. Don't like I have nothing against Gokun as like a principle. And like if you're like real big into drinking a lot of cum, fucking you're my hero. But like I couldn't drink a cum chalice. If you were like, here's a cum chalice, I'd be like, thanks, I guess. I can't fucking drink it. What the fuck is Gokun? Oh, Gokun's like when you like drink. It's like. Hold on, I'm gonna look up a definition of Gokun, and my internet won't serve it to me because they'll be like, "You have safe search on, you dipshit. You can't look up Gokun." It looked up Goku instead. It was like, you mean Goku, right? Gokun is the sound of swallowing to the Japanese. Gokun usually involves a girl. It doesn't have to be a girl, you Wikipedia. Feature a girl who's performing oral sex to one or several men, plays the sperm swallowing it. Those girls are called Gokun girls. Basically, it's like when you like drink a whole bunch of cum. That's what Gokun is. It's when you drink a whole bunch of cum. When you like eat Gokun with your, like when you drink a bunch of cum with your food, like if you have like cum on a peanut butter sandwich, and you're like, I love this peanut butter and cum sandwich. Or like if you like drink it out of a glass, and you're like, I love this cum chalice. That's what Gokun is. That's what Gokun is. That's putrid, disgusting. I don't know, man. What was it? Was it Oscar Wilde that was like, nothing human disgusts me? Something like that. You made me vomit. I'm sorry, maid. That's what you get when you get drunk sack. You get drunk sack, filter off. People forget. People forget who they're dealing with when the sacks filter off. Am I getting anything else to wear this award? You know who won this award? I blame the sake. That's fair. That's fair. Alcohol impacts your judgment. Is the winner of this award? You may be surprised about this. The winner of this award is boom. It's Pokemon Scarlet, the Treasure of Area Zero. Now you might be wondering, hey, hold up. You played Pokemon Scarlet last year, but remember, it's the DLC that wins. Yeah, Pokemon Scarlet, the Treasure of Area Zero, is just, like, better than the main game, weirdly enough. Excuse me. There's some characters that, like, aren't very likable, but they develop into likable characters. It's, like, actually, like, a solid experience. The biggest issue I have with the Treasure of Area Zero... Oh, God, I'm hiccuping now. Holy shit. I thought that was just like made up bullshit, but like I'm actually hiccuping. The Treasure of Area Zero is like one of those experiences where it's like the biggest issue with the Treasure of Area Zero is it feels like they saved all the good stuff for the DLC. You know, one of the scumbag tactics. Master Detective Raincode has actually good DLC, I'll say that. And it was really nice learning about the characters. The characters are really a strong point in Master Detective Archives Raincode. So it was like really cool getting to see them fuck around in town during that time period. Everyone knows I wasn't a big fan of Shadow of the Erdtree. And then Neo 2, I actually liked the main game better than the DLC. So really it was Treasure of Area Zero versus Raincode. But even then, I remember Treasure of Area Zero having a really solid DLC over Raincode. Whereas I think Raincode has a stronger main game. If I were to say what game I think is actually the best overall out of all of these, it's probably Neo 2, actually, if I'm not lying to you. But I definitely think like the actual winner of best DLC would lose this. I'm having fun shaking my ass back and forth. If you're wondering where I'm going, I'm just like shaking my fucking ass. You know, I have a really big, sexy, beefy ass that this is true. I've had a lot of women comment on my ass like I've had women comment on my ass in the workplace to the point where I was like being sexually harassed. Like, oh God, no, hold on, Sack, get your head together. Do not talk about the number of times that you have been sexually harassed due to your ass on stream. That is not appropriate stream conversation. You do not need to open up about your sexual harassment on stream. Get your fucking head together, you fucking drunk asshole. Okay, so anyway, yeah, moving on. Moving on from best DLC is what we're doing. Okay. But Come PBJ is a lot better, I would say, than opening up about crimes that have committed against you. Your page is... Fuck! That was legitimate. That was a legitimate fall. Holy shit! I'm like real drunk. Excuse me. Y'all, this is the last glass of champagne. We can't be fancy after this. If this is the last glass of champagne, I have to save this for Game of the Year, because I can't drink this before Game of the Year. Because we have to have champagne for the Game of the Year. You're just hot? Fuck yeah, mate! You own that self-esteem. I wish I had that kind of confidence to be like, fuck yeah, I'm hot. Alright. We finally got to the game categories, which I take a little more seriously, because I probably do watch more anime every year than I do play games, because I managed to put out an episode every Wednesday. But, like, I take the game category more seriously because I don't have an anime words. Oh, you have a warm body temperature, you're ugly. You gotta boost yourself up, man. You gotta be like, no, fuck yeah, I'm sexy as shit. All the guys want it. Or all the girls. Because I think you said you're bi before. All the people. Everyone wants it. Fuck yeah. It's like super fun to like move your head in a circle. Oh, now I'm dizzy. Oh, I should have moved my head in a circle. I should have moved my head in a circle. You know Togo from Watamote? Yeah, I kind of look like her. Dog. Maid. Don't fucking breathe. Oh, God. Dog. You were. Oh, fuck. Dude. Oh my god. Tomoko from Watamote. Holy shit. Whew. I am just sober enough to not say something that I would have totally regretted if I was sober. Anyway, I am sober enough to say, phrasing this correctly, that I do not think Tomoko from Watamote is an unattractive character. I do not think she is ugly. Well, no, I'm curious. You may now. Haha. I corrected your grammar out of comedy. I had enough sense to not correct it, and then I was like, no, do it out of comedy. But what I did not have enough sense to do was realize that correcting your grammar wasn't funny. So I am still drunk enough to do that. Anyway, what was the next topic for the Dialogue Tree Awards is Best Soundtrack. Best Soundtrack includes Digimon World Next Order, which I've already announced is also in line for Worst Game. Hyper Devotion Noir, Goddess Blackheart. It's not grammar, that's spelling? No, I think that's grammar. If you use the... No, because you use the wrong word. That might be grammar. It might be grammar. I think it's grammar, because you use the wrong word. Because K-N-O-W is an actual word. I think there's an argument to be made either way. Because if you intended... I'm drunk enough to agree with you. You did... Yeah. Yeah, I think you're making a solid point. Yeah, you're right. I'll give it to you. You're right. Fuck it. You're right. Yeah. Yeah. You're right. You know why I'm saying grammar is because that's what most people call, like, I see a lot of YouTube comments call that grammar, but, like, now that you, like, actually called me on it, you're right. It is actually a spelling mistake, not a grammar mistake. Yeah. Yeah. Good job. Touché. I was announcing the nominees for this, wasn't I? Oh, yeah. Digimon World Next Order, Hyper Devotion Noir, Goddess Blackheart, Scarlet Nexus, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. I'm not going to lie to you. The winner of this one won exclusively because of backdoor politics. So we will talk about backdoor politics at the end of the stream, where I talk about what was the criteria for the winners. But this is a backdoor politics winner for sure. All right. So, for the best soundtrack criteria, I considered reclassifying this as sound design in general, which would allow more Silent Hill entries. But realistically, I think it's probably whatever I said in the previous years. But the real criteria for this came down to, like, whatever who has the best OST. That's really what it was. It was like, whoever has the best soundtrack is what the best soundtrack award goes to. So, in order to listen to this, listened to over half of the soundtrack of everything. I didn't bother listening to everything. I listened to approximately 70% of every soundtrack because a lot of these have a lot of sounds. A lot of these have a lot of songs involved in them. And I just genuinely did not have enough time to listen to literally everything. But I did take note while playing them of how good the soundtrack was. So we're going to get a little bit upset with this one because a different entry would have won were it not to do with backdoor politics, which we'll talk about a little bit later in the stream. But so this time the winner is it's Digimon World Next Order. That's correct. A game I absolutely despise. Digimon World Next Order. Here's the crazy thing. If you go listen to the Digimon World Next Order soundtrack, excuse me, surprising amount of bangers, actually. Like, real talk, pretty good. So, pretty good soundtrack. What the fuck? Yeah, like, right? Yeah, I think I even remember talking about, like, how good the soundtrack is while playing this game. Yeah, Digimon World Next Order, fucking solid-ass soundtrack. Nothing else about the game is good. To be clear, it is a terrible game, but the soundtrack, fucking solid. Hyper Devotion Noir Goddess Blackheart. Here's the thing about this game. You cannot, in good faith, do that with Scarlet Nexus and SMT5 on there. We'll talk about that. We'll talk. Believe me, maid. We will talk about that. We will talk about that. At the end of the stream, after Game of the Year is awarded, when we talk about the backdoor politics, I will remind you about the winner criteria. But anyway, yeah, so Hyper Devotion Noir is actually one of the weaker... you were picked up. Is actually one of the weaker Nep. Just like a word to say already. Is actually one of the weaker Nep soundtracks. If this was Mega Dimension Neptunia, it would have had a real shot at winning. It would have had a real shot at winning if it was Mega Dimension Neptunia. But it was not. It was Hyper Devotion Noir, which I actually think had a solid soundtrack. But I don't think it was good enough to overtake Next World Order. As for Scarlet Nexus actually... Here's the crazy thing. When I actually re-listened to it, Scarlet Nexus actually had less banger tracks than Next World Order. I think the banger tracks were probably higher level bangers than Next World Order, but I genuinely think after listening to after listening to the soundtracks of both games, I actually think Scarlet Nexus probably would have lost anyway. Shin Megami Tensei 5 is like a different fucking animal entirely. That soundtrack is fucking phenomenal. That soundtrack is like a whole ass monster, and we'll have to talk about that soundtrack a little bit later when we get into the when we get into more of how they... Because I say this every year, and I'm sort of banking on how winners are chosen. I'm sort of banking on you forgetting how winners are chosen every year, in order to not give Vengeance the win on this one. But yeah, Next World Order is actually... I'm genuine about this. I am genuine about this. Next World Order has a very good soundtrack, actually, shockingly. It is like the only good part of the game is the soundtrack. It's also pretty good visuals. Pretty good visuals, actually, if I'm being totally honest. But Ryota Kosuka got his start making fucking Junes theme in Persona 4. Then he went on to make the goddamn SFT. That is a fucking pedigree. That's interesting. That's an interesting thing. Anyway, yeah, soundtrack winner is Digimon World Next Order. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it later. We'll talk about that later. But next up in the turn order is Best Visuals. Now, the criteria for Best Visuals is very generic. This is the best, like background design, best character design, best, like, overall vibe and aesthetic. This is a very general award. Now, remember this. The order of the awards, except for the worst award, going forward from Best Soundtrack onward, increases in order of prestige. So Best Visual, because it's based on what I think is most important to make a good video game. Right? So, like, Best Soundtrack is, like, the least important thing as far as making a good video game, whereas Best Visuals, I think, is more important to making a good video game. Which increases all the way up to Game of the Year, which I think being the Game of the Year is the most important award that we're going to award tonight. So do keep that in mind, that Best Visuals is considered a more prestigious award than Best Soundtrack. But anyway, we have Master Detective Archives Raincode. You want to see something scary? Sure, why not? Fuck it. We have Neo 2. We have Scarlet Nexus, and we have Shin Megami Tensei 5. This is very similar to the previous awards, except I think I added Master Detective Archives Raincode. I'm too drunk to see this. This is a keyboard in alphabetical order. This is a keyboard in alphabetical order. I know that these exist. And to be totally honest, for the purposes of typing, I would actually probably prefer this. I think this would be better than the current keyboard. I would like this better. I'll say that. But I don't buy these. Specifically because they're too expensive. And because I think that it would make playing video games very hard to QWERTY. You'd have to rebind all your keys if you were QWERTYing. I'm not drunk, you're drunk. Fuck off. Anyway, best visuals. This is the general aesthetic of the game. Character design, setting, stuff like that. Menu? This probably includes menu. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I included menu in this. I'm not drunk, I'm just warm. That's what all the drunk people say. I don't even think I'm warm. I think it's shown that alcohol actually makes you colder, but it makes you feel warmer. Which is why some people drink when they're cold. But if you're like actually in danger of like dying of frostbite or something, don't drink. Because it will fuck with your blood vessels. So watch out with that. Anyway, so best overall looking game. If I recall correctly, this category was also fucked over by Backdoor Politics. Was that correct? I think this is a Backdoor Politics award. I think something lost only because of Backdoor Politics. Yeah, something lost because of Backdoor Politics. I looked it up. Anyway, so best game, best looking game, best visuals on this. Between these four options, Master Detective Archives Rain Code, which is basically just Danganronpa, or Neo 2, which allowed me to create a character that was so distractingly attractive that I was incapable of properly looking at cutscenes, or Scarlet Nexus, which has got this whole little cyberpunk neon vibe, or Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, which is like, I would probably argue the best Megaten game the best looking Megaten game outside of maybe Metaphor, which I haven't actually played yet. I do own because I was given it as a Christmas present by Grandma Sack, but I have not yet played it because I'm too busy playing something else. But yeah, so as far as best looking game, best visuals, the winner is it's, and I'm going to be real here, I have forgotten who I gave this to. The winner is Scarlet Nexus. Okay. Oh, Scarlet Nexus won this. Scarlet Nexus is a pretty good looking game. I'm pretty sure this won this by Backdoor Politics. I'm pretty sure something else could have won if it were not for winner criteria on this one. But yeah, Scarlet Nexus is a pretty good looking game. I don't hate on that. Everyone's got some pretty solid fashion. This is a game where the environments aren't too pretty solid. Good dilapidation for the ruins. A lot of interesting, unique enemy designs on this one, and a lot of cool fashions on this. So I don't hate this. I don't hate this win. So I'd stand by this. I think it's pretty solid based on the winner criteria. But yeah, all right, man. Fucking Scarlet Nexus won. Which, remember, this is a more prestigious award than the soundtrack award, because I think visuals are more important than soundtrack, apparently. Would I stand by that? Probably. Probably would. Okay. All right, next up in the award ceremony is Best Gameplay. That's right. Gameplay more important than visuals. What? How a game feels when you get your hands on it is better than the actual method of looking at it? Yeah, that's correct. Excuse me. We got Neo 2 going up on this one. We have Scarlet Nexus, Sekiro Shadows Dies Twice, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Alright, so rocking up a bit of a description, Neo 2 is a lot more faster paced and a lot more better feeling than Neo overall. I'm doing a little jig. You don't see me, but I'm doing a little jig underneath my desk right now. But Sack, Shadow of the Colossus looks so good, even though it controls like butt. Oh god, I like legitimately don't like Shadow of the Colossus. Also, it's worth noting that, like, if we were to talk about Shadow of the Colossus, it would probably be in the worst of list. I own Shadow of the Colossus. This is real. I own Shadow of the Colossus, and I actually kind of don't like it. I tried to turn it back. I got it at Walmart, and I tried to return it to Walmart. Like, I legitimately do not enjoy that game. It feels bad. It's just like 10 bosses that you have to fight. I've like considered going back to it, but like realistically, I don't like it. I just do not like it. It's just like it feels story shallow, which we all know that because we know from the order of the award ceremony that I prioritize story over anything, and like it feels story shallow. And it's just 10 boss fights. It's like a series of boss fights in a row. It's like it's not even like fun to play. I don't understand. Like everyone talks about like the setting and the when you go around and you see the scenario and like there's like a sad moment where you kill the bosses, but like it feels like such a shallow experience to me. I legitimately do not like that game. Didn't you stream it? No, wait. No, who the fuck streamed it? No, I definitely did not stream it. I definitely did. You're thinking of someone else. I don't know who did it, but it was not me. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like Shadow of the Colossus. I own it. I do own it. They didn't let me take it back to Walmart. I do own it. So much bloom light? Oh, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, it kind of like controls like ass. The story is very like stripped down. It's one of those games where I really don't get it. Like everyone always talks about the environments and the environmental details, and I'm like, is that all it takes? Is that all it takes to like create one of the best games of all time for you? Is like to do your environments well? Like what the fuck is your criteria? Some other video gaming gamer guy. Like, in order to get one of the best games of all time for me, you need to fucking work for it. And, like, whenever people talk about Shadow of the Colossus, I'm like, that game kind of sucks on every level, doesn't it? I don't understand. I don't get it. Shadow of the Colossus is one of those ones where it's like aliens are picking this as their favorite game. Like, every time you hear gamers are really shallow, like, gamers talk about Shadow of the Colossus, and they're picking it by vibes. And I'm like, that's how you pick your best game, is by vibes? It's not like gameplay or setting or characters or soundtrack or anything. It's vibes? You're vibe-based? Your best game of all time is decided by vibes? Like it literally, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, people legitimately pick Shadow of the Colossus based on vibes. I don't... Gamers are really shallow and kind of stupid. You're not wrong. This is going to sound really arrogant. Really, everyone is kind of stupid compared to me. But, like, holy shit. Like, Shadow of the Colossus is the one where, like, I can understand where someone's like, I like Bloodborne. And I'm like, I don't, but I get it. But, like, Shadow of the Colossus is one of the ones where I'm like, you're a fucking alien. Like, what are you talking about? I know someone who only plays games for vibes, but she plays those fucking farming sim games that advertise themselves as comfy. No, I get those. I get those more than I get Shadow of the Colossus. Like, a Stardew Valley, I've had fun with Stardew Valley. Stardew Valley is more fun than Shadow of the Colossus. If you were to offer me Stardew Valley or Shadow of the Colossus, I would probably pick... If you were to offer me, like... fucking Animal Crossing, I would pick that over fucking Shadow of the Colossus. I do not get it. You're doing something in those. Yeah, exactly. It's just boss fights. Shadow of the Colossus is just boss fights. And it's not even like particularly fun boss fights. You crawl and then you stab something in the head, and then you might get closer to saving your like fiance / wife / girlfriend / whatever. Like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, why would you want to do this? Most of Shadow of the Colossus, you ride your horse to find a boss. Yes, fuck Shadow of the Colossus. Shadow of the Colossus is dick. And, like, not good dick. Like, bad dick. Like, moldy dick. with a lot of smegma dick. Anyway, the best gameplay is the exact opposite of Shadow of the Colossus. This is the games that were the funnest to play. If I recall correctly, Dragon's Dogma does Shadow of the Colossus boss fights, but like better. I've played the demo for... I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again because I'm drunk. Fuck you. I played the demo for Dragon's Dogma right before it was coming out, and I had a friend that was like, if you can beat the demo on the first try for Dragon's Dogma, I will give you a cookie. And not only did I beat one boss first try without any issue, I beat the second boss first try without any issue. And he offered me a cookie, but I didn't take it because I didn't really want a cookie. Because I'm a sourpuss. But yeah, so I beat Dragon's Dogma. First try without any issues, and so it's supposed to be. And then I had another friend who played Dragon's Dogma and described like the followers that you created that game as like whores that you like pimp out. But I never played that either. Dragon's Dogma is actually on my list to play relatively soon. I want to play Operation Abyss for sure. And then I really want to play Xenogear. No, not Xenogears. Get the fuck out of here. Xenoblade. Xenosaga. I'm going to list a bunch of games that I think are in higher priority than Dragon's Dogma. The Dragon's Dogma was pretty high priority for a while. Operation Abyss. Xenosaga. Xenoblade. And I got it for Christmas, so I feel sort of obligated to play Metaphor. I also kind of want to play Persona 3. Just because I haven't played Persona 3 in a while, and I also got it for Christmas. So I want to play Persona 3 Reload, Metaphor, Operation Abyss, or Xenosaga or Xenoblade. That's probably the next game I'm going to play. If I was being realistic, because I've already played Persona 3, I'd probably lean towards Metaphor. Just because I've already played Persona 3. And because I got it for Christmas and I feel obligated to play it, I would probably lean towards Metaphor over Operation Abyss. Otherwise, I think Operation Abyss might actually win over. So, I probably shouldn't say this, but you might be able to expect Metaphor over the next 4 months. I don't own Xenogears. I couldn't play Xenogears if I wanted to. But, I'd probably go Metaphor next. And then I'd probably go Operation Abyss, if I'm being real with you. If I'm being super real with you. But right now I'm too busy playing Echoes of Wisdom, which I'm kind of not liking very much, honestly, if I'm being real with you. I'm a little disappointed with it. It's like very laggy, and the frame rate isn't very consistent. And I think it's because it leads too much of the map. It really should not have this much lag. Anyway, best gameplay is an award for how games feel in your hand when you fight them, when you do the combat, when you talk to them. Your boss called me a crybaby. You've only had like one boss though. I've had like, because I'm like 80, right? I'm like 800. So I've had like 30 bosses. So I've had different bosses give me different bits of advice. Also, I'm really good at learning from people. So, like, even, like, the boss could have called me a crybaby and then, like, half a sentence later been like, yeah, I'm really doing this thing, and I would have still learned from it, so. She's a tyrant. Yeah, you told me that your boss is absolute bullpucky. Like, absolute colossal bitch to the point where everyone knows that she's a colossal bitch. She just called me worse. Oh, I'm sure. Have you had any success in like going somewhere else? Have you done any better? Have you like been applying? I recommend doing it weekly, because like if you got to get out of there, you got to get out of there. Because it sounds like your workplace is like absolutely fucking miserable. You're not having like a typical work experience. So yeah, keep at it, and hopefully something will pop up at some point. Anyway, best gameplay. This is how the game feels in your hands. This is when you do the combat. A lot of this is combat based. it's almost exclusively combat based. But if you have like a really shitty subsystem, your shitty subsystem is probably detracting from you. But like Neo 2 is like, it feels good in your hands when you do it. It like I applied to a desk girl at a post place and I heard nothing. That was last week. Oh, you'd be shocked at how long it takes to hear you back. I recommend using. Here's what you should do. You should like pull up Google Maps or whatever your like local map thing is, and you should look at all the places you're interested in working. You're like, I could work there, and you just individually select those locations, and then you look up the careers website. Type in that location /careers, then apply via the online application process, and then you can also try in Indeed.com. You're gonna get a lot of like military website like advice from like Indeed.com because it's very bad at actually like figuring out what you're looking for. But like try that out. Try like job hunting websites, and just like keep at it. Like try and keep your shit together. Really focus on stress relief if you're having a lot of issues with your job. Focus on stress relief, like hang out with friends, maybe confide in people if you can. Like really try and keep yourself like as high spirits as you can as you look for other places. And you sort of remember that you have a bit of an advantage if you currently have a job for negotiations going forward. So anyway, Neo 2 is a game that like feels better and faster than the original Neo. Scarlet Nexus is a game that I'm not gonna lie, I think is on here because I needed 4 slots. And I didn't play a lot of games last year because the games I did play were very long. Sekiro people say it doesn't feel like a Soulsborne game, and those people are wrong. They're like inherently wrong. I was able to play Sekiro exactly like I played every other Dark Souls game. Basically, it's like the polar opposite of Bloodborne. It's like Dark Souls if you were just defensive. It's all about defending, blocking, jumping, stealth, deflecting. It's defensive Dark Souls. It comes together very well, and as everyone who has seen me stream the Soulsborne games knows, I am a defensive player. So Sekiro is functionally like to Bloodborne. Like most people's feelings about Bloodborne are how I feel about Sekiro. It's not a Souls game by the lack of soul in the title. You're correct, but like neither is Bloodborne or Elden Ring, and those are still counted. That's why I said Soulsborne. Soulsborne is the name of the genre. It's a Soulsborne game. People will deny it because they're like, you play it completely different. You don't. If you play Soulsborne games like I do, you play it exactly the fucking same. So Sekiro plays more like the other Soulsborne games than Bloodborne does to me, which is what tells me that it plays it exactly like the same as the others. I hit my tooth on the vodka. Alright. And then Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Honestly, this uses like the press turn system, but it's got a lot of less Beast Eye and Dragon Eye than any of the other games, and it's got a lot less bullshit mechanics. So it does have the same flaws as the obnoxious usage of action economy as the other games, but it also has a really good fusion system, and the like movement's pretty good. Ugh. Excuse me. I'm like suck too bad. I'm like, well, I don't want to I cheat like fuck at Demon Souls. Oh, if you're not cheating at Demon, like I don't like. We've all seen me play Dark Souls. We know I'm pretty good at Dark Souls. If you're not cheating at Demon Souls, you're a fucking idiot. You have to cheat at the original Demon Souls. That's like, it's like part of the contract of like you buy Demon Souls and they make you sign a piece of paper that says I will cheat at this game. Are you kidding me? Of course I'm cheating at this game. Anyway, Yeah, gameplay. Solid section this year. A lot of repeats for the nominees. Because, I don't know. I didn't play a lot of games last year. I played a lot of long games and not a lot of short games. Also, I played like Dark Souls and Dark Souls. I played like Dark Souls and stuff. Like I played a lot of like Soulsborne games that like took up a lot of time that don't qualify because I didn't play them for the first time. So anyway, moving on to best gameplay is the winner is, remember, it's an honor to even be nominated. I haven't been saying that. It's an honor to even be nominated. The winner is Neo 2. I didn't remember that Neo 2 won. Neo 2 won because of backdoor politics. This is a backdoor politics win. But, like, for sure, Neo 2 is a solid game, and I would definitely recommend it. I don't think I would not recommend any of these games. I like all of them a lot. So, that's what you get for the awards ceremony. Neo 2 had to win some award because it was so fucking solid. And so best gameplay is pretty good. It's definitely plays better than Neo 1. Neo 1 played like absolute hot garbage. So Neo 2 winning is pretty good. I'm okay with that. You know what? I'm alright with that. Alright, moving on. From guest gameplay. From guest gameplay is a new category, best narrative. Now, if you remember last year, we had, and the year before that, we had best story, which included characters and narrative and story presentation. That has been removed. That is a dead category. We are no longer doing best story. Now characters is separated from narrative and narrative presentation. So best narrative is best narrative and best narrative presentation. I looked at the mountain of dishes in my sink and now I'm sad. That is real. I understand that. I feel that. Here's my secret. After I cook, I don't want to clean set tomorrow. After I cook, I basically because I don't like eating hot stuff or drinking hot stuff, I will immediately wash my stuff like immediately after. I'll like set it to the side, like maybe in the microwave or something where it's a little protected from like bugs or some shit. And that's where I'll clean everything out and then I'll go eat. That's what I do. I always do it immediately. I do it at the earliest possible convenience. I'm like the opposite of procrastinator. If you give me like an assignment, I'm like, I don't want to do this. I will do this immediately. Oh yeah, that's right. Your parents are... How would Sober Sack say this? Your parents are eccentric. That's how Sober Sack would say that. Anyway, this is the story with the best. You're eccentric. It's good. That's not a bad thing. Unless it involves not owning a microwave, in which case it's a little bit of a bad thing. Just own a microwave. Okay. Best narrative. Yeah, this is like the best presentation and the best overall story. But this does not include characters because we have new criteria. Now, you might be a little surprised that narrative is considered a less prestigious award than best characters. And normally I would have put narrative over characters, but actually after these several years of reviewing anime, I've actually realized that it doesn't matter how good your characters are. It doesn't matter how good your story is. If I don't care about your characters, if I can't connect with your characters are actually, like, it doesn't matter. Where similarly, if your story is actually kind of lackluster and kind of shitty, your characters actually become more important. So if you're surprised to see narrative over characters, I've actually come to the realization over several years that best characters is actually more important than having better narrative. Crazy, right? Yeah. Characters are more important than your narrative. Who knew? Because if you like the characters and you can connect with them, it doesn't matter how like complex or interesting your plot is. I don't like the way reheated food tastes in the microwave. It's all wet and sloppy. Even microwaving ramen tastes worse than if I just boiled water. That's like overly elaborate. Microwaves are convenient as shit. I'm shaking this because I like the sound. It's a fun sound. You think about that? You think about how much I like the sound? Anyway, who's going to win Best Narrative? I should leave those pauses in to the final video when the VOD goes up. I should leave those pauses in to show just how fucking drunk I am, because I think there's almost a level of humor that could be gleaned from the buffering process. I just to clarify, I am aware of the buffering process. My brain doesn't shut down. It's not just like a long series of pause. Like, everything doesn't go black. I'm aware that I'm not doing anything, but like, I need that period of doing nothing in order for my brain to reconfigure to what the fuck is happening. Put a little buffering wheel. That's too much effort. It's called a throbbler, by the way. That's true. That's not drunk sack talking. It's called a throbbler. Anyway. It'd rather be good than easy. You say that because you don't own a microwave. The only good thing that tastes good in a microwave is stuff that's made to be microwave, like Hot Pockets, which is kind of trash I eat at work. Hot Pockets suck. Can we talk about it? Fuck Hot Pockets. I don't think I will either. Anyway, apparently the winner of Best Narrative was Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Which honestly I think is fair. I think the overall story of vengeance and the destruction of the world and the conflict between the individual characters. See, this is why characters is a higher tier, is because the characters are what drive the narrative in any good series. And how the world is like decaying, I think adds to an overall really solid experience, even over the relatively interesting experience of Neo 2 and Master Detective Archives and Scarlet Nexus. I think what puts SMT5 above the other entries in this specific example is that SMT5 is solid all the way through, whereas there's detraction points from Rain Code, from Neo 2, from Scarlet Nexus, which I don't like as much. Whereas I don't think there's any overall plot issue I have with Vengeance, which is why I think it comes out on top at the very end of this. So yeah, Best Narrative goes to SMT5 Vengeance. I'm making little mons every time I move around my bed. That's not something not fucked up people do. Which story in SMT5? Overall, all of the stories. Remember, I did every ending, so it just like the compilation, the amalgam of every ending wins over every other story. I think it's the only one with its own unique ending. So. But yeah, like, the amalgamation of every single ending, I think, is probably going to win over on this one. So yeah, shout out to SMT5 Vengeance. Well earned. Very good game. I don't know if there's a game there I would have not recommended. You always do everything and everything. That's not true. If I really hate a game, I will not do it. or if it's like too much fucking effort. Occasionally it is genuinely too much effort for me to give a shit. Alright, next up is best characters, which I've decided is more important than best story. We have Master Detective Archives Raincode, Scarlet Nexus, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, and Unicorn Overlord for the first appearance. Master Detective Archives Raincode is very much in the same vein as Danganronpa, although I think it has one of the stronger casts of any of the Danganronpa. You're like an OCD. You know, the crazy part is I didn't used to be. I used to just try and get through the story and I didn't give a shit. And I think it was after, like, I don't know. This is like a relatively recent thing where I try and explore everything. It was like, it started when I started doing Cold Topic or thereabouts. Like, I really genuinely did not used to be. I think it, if anything, is so I would have more to talk about and I can give more in-depth reviews. Like, once I started reviewing every single thing I experienced, I think that's when I started becoming more completionist. Even then, I don't complete literally everything, because genuinely, sometimes things just don't fucking matter. So, but anyway, yeah, Archives Raincode is, like, one of the stronger casts for a Danganronpa game. It's not a Danganronpa game, technically, but it's a Danganronpa game. Scarlet Nexus has a lot of, like, interesting conflicting personalities and interesting cast members, all with their own unique goals and personality types. Which do you think is better? The compulsive, like, everything has to be a certain way OCD, or the self-pity, everything is my fault OCD? Are those two different types of OCD? Which one do I think is better? Probably the compulsive one, because I think it's less likely to lead to suicide. Alright, best characters, Vengeance. Now, Vengeance is a unique one, because, as was pointed out in the original review, I do think that the characters for Vengeance are at their strongest in the Vengeance route, and not the canon, and not the creation route. So, for Vengeance, we're taking, of course, into, the thought process, the amalgamation of the characters across every route. But I do think there is a definitive route where they are stronger. And of course, Unicorn Overlord has a large cast of very likable characters that I don't think anyone can be too upset about. All of which take a lot of inspiration from your Fire Emblems, which in turn took inspiration from Persona about having specific events where characters interact with each other. So, excuse me. This is a real question about which one had the absolute strongest cast. And the winner of that is... Man, I want to eat like a turkey sandwich. I don't even like turkey, but like, I want some turkey. Can I get a turkey sandwich? Give me a turkey sandwich. The winner is Master Detective Archives Raincode. Yes, Master Detective Archives Raincode is a relatively mediocre game, but it has a very strong cast overall. It was definitely the thing I think I enjoyed the most about the game. Very good visuals, actually. Definitely a contender for the visual element, which is why it was nominated. But of course, as everyone knows, it's an honor to even be nominated. And so, Master Detective Archives Raincode, surprisingly enough, best cast out of any of these games. Now, I didn't play a lot of games last year. Most of the games I played were very, very long. And had I played a larger and shit, I don't understand the comment. But yeah, very strong cast. Probably best cast of any of these games. Definitely the best cast of any of these games. That's not even a question. It won the award. It has the best cast of anything I played last year. So yeah, shout out to Master Detectives Archives Raincode. Had to win an award. So yeah, shout out. All right, now a return from last year. Forget I saw that. It's incredibly obvious. It's incredibly obvious who's gonna win if you just, like, look at my favorite list. But, like, forget you... Please forget you saw that. Shit, I've been afraid that was gonna happen for so long. I've been afraid that was gonna happen for the entire time this award ceremony has happened. Like, it is worth noting that, like, as far as this goes, you just have to look at the favorite list to see what order I placed the games in. But yeah, whoosh, eesh, I fucked up there. But I'm sober enough to realize that. Anyway, worst of the year. This is an award that I think I might I'm genuinely considering phasing out. Because unlike every other award where it's an honor to even be nominated, in Worst of the Year, it's a dishonor to even be nominated. Like, you should not be nominated for this. So it's one of those ones where I almost feel bad about it. I don't like the negativity required for this one. I don't know if this will make it next year. I might be too lazy to not make it next year, but we'll see. But for sure. But like, these are the worst games that I played last year. These were all stream games, so you got to see me suffer real time. I'm just having fun with this big old glass bottle in my hand. Nearly the whole thing was Kingdom Hearts. A big contributor to that is actually that I didn't really play a lot of games last year. I didn't stream a lot last year, so a big bulk of what I did stream was actually Kingdom Hearts, unfortunately. Jerk that battle off. So rocking off with Digimon World Next Order, which I did not play for the first time last year, but I completed for the first time last year, which is actually the criteria for the award. Which is a game that I was miserable on, and I needed to basically use every dirty trick to win. And I believe my claim for Digimon World Next World Order is that every single mechanic disagreed with itself. Next up was Kingdom Hearts 0.2 Birth by Sleep, A Fragmentary Passage, which is a game I wasn't overly negative about, but I needed. But like I said, I did not play a lot of games last year, and I needed 4 nominees. So technically that wins over. I think it was that over Birth by Sleep, which, like, Birth by Sleep is actually pretty slide. Digimon, the game that made Sake Digimon. You are not incorrect is the thing. Oh boy, was I not a fan. And then there was Kingdom Hearts 3 HD, Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD, which was a game where every single aspect of it was unpleasant. And if I'm being totally honest, I don't fully remember everything I hated about that game, but I remember the burning hatred of that game. And also, I do have access to a list where I rated all of the games and how much I disliked them. So that might have contributed to its nomination, because the fact that I streamed all 4 of these games, honestly, I've mentioned once before, and I said I should not have said this out loud, is that the reason I stream less sometimes is if I'm playing a game I absolutely don't like. And you might have noticed that all 4 of these games are games I don't like. And, like, if anything, the reason I streamed sort of less last year, even though I probably could have gotten more in, was because, like, I hated everything I was playing the entire year. Like, last year was a real bad year for games. Like, holy shit, was it fucking awful. Everything sucked. So, yeah, that probably contributed to a lot of it. Anyway, yeah, Dream Drop Distance was just fucking bad. It was bad on every level. It was fucking sucking. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 is the greatest waste of potential of probably any game I've ever played. Like, so many games that build up just for a whole bunch of bullshit that just wasted your time. It was just like a bunch of filler content. I believe you said something I want to be a reaction streamer. Oh, God. Being a reaction streamer is the fucking dream, isn't it? Isn't it? Oh, God. I want to be XQC. That'd be awesome. I'd be like, hey, everyone, give me a YouTube video to react with. And you'd be like, why communism is good. And then I'd be like, I don't agree with every point about this, but I do think the U.S. government should include more communist policies, because I do think some of it, I don't think you should throw the baby out with the bathwater, and I do think there's some communist policies that should be adopted. That was weirdly political for an award ceremony. I'm drunk as fuck. Fuck you. How about that? You ever think about that? Anyway, Kingdom Hearts 3. What did I say about Kingdom Hearts 3? You'd have to kill your brain cells a little bit. I've seen XQC, and, like, I don't understand why people watch XQC. Can I say that? You know what? Fuck it. I'm drunk enough to call it out. What are they going to do? Ban me from Twitch? I don't get it. Every time I see XQC, I'm like, he adds nothing. He adds nothing. He's like the shittiest streamer I've ever seen. I'll quote Valhalla, go for it. I don't think there was backdoor politics on this one. I think this one was a legitimate win. Anyway, so worst of the year goes to you think if my viewers wanted to use their brains, they'd be watching this streaming, Sean? I think there's one thing I would like to react to genuinely is I think Red versus Blue would be a good reaction because I love that series. I would react to the first 13 seasons and then nothing else. But like, because if anything, when I do reaction content, which is very, very rare, I am actually very proactive and discussive about it because I can't shut the fuck up. So I actually do think I could do fair use reaction content a lot better than most Twitch streamers. So it is actually something to think about. The big thing is like favorite search has worn me down over the years because the concept was based off of a Mr. Enter thing. And yeah, the problem is the actual criteria I created, the actual queue, is like really fucking boring. And the other thing is I am not one who specifically prefers to replay games. I like to play things once and then move on to new games. And so the big issue with favorite search, as it has started going forward, is that I've become less interested in playing games over. Like, I genuinely dread starting most streams. Is part of the problem with it. And I think if I were to do reaction content, even for a little while, I think I would probably stream more just because I'd be more interested in viewing things and streaming things and commenting about those things. It's not because of the ease of use. It's because I don't want to play games on stream, and I actually have grown over the course of the several years to actually genuinely hate doing Let's Plays. So, please forget I ever said that. Actually, I should never have admitted that on stream. Another great streaming home quote is, "That won't do. My viewers have the attention span of fruit flies. I need binary yes or no answers." What do I need? Anyway, yeah, I don't think backdoor politics decided the worst of the year. What actually decided the worst of the year is I rate every game I ever play immediately after I finish it. You need a friend. Playing games with a friend is nice. Oh, I've always... one of the first things I realized when I was doing Let's Plays, back before I even started streaming, before I was doing Let's Plays, is that I actually work better when there's someone to bounce off of. I'm very good in a group, and I think I'm genuinely less entertaining by myself. And yeah, there's just like no one to bounce off of anymore. Like, John retired, and we haven't seen Arsic in like 3 years or some shit like that. Most of the Let's Plays I watch is more than one person. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I do much better in a multi-person environment. But, like, I ain't got no one to work with, so... And, like, I used to have people I work with, and, like, every time I work with someone, they, like, end up, like, retiring or some shit, so. SGB is always 3 people, at least 2 people. Woolie's rarely alone. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. I'm with you. Like, I would do it if I can, but, like, and even then... It's sort of an issue of getting someone to take this situation as seriously as you're taking it. Like, if you want to actually make an effort of it and, like, make consistent videos and make consistent streams, you have to get someone who is actually willing to actually attempt to do that. And getting someone to, like, put in the effort is really hard. So, like, it's not only, like, having someone to, like, that you vibe with, that you can make good content with, it's getting someone to give a shit about it. That's like sort of like a challenge. So no, like, I do it if I could, honestly, because I do think I work better in groups, but like, what am I gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, worst of the year, the winner is... By the way, I'm a lot soberer than I used to be. is the winner is Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance HD. Fun fact about this one, I was actually going to give it to Kingdom Hearts 3 as the worst of the year, but then when I looked over my favorite list, I actually noticed that Dream Drop Distance is way worse than Kingdom Hearts 3. And if I'm being totally honest with you, I don't remember sober exited out. I'm more sober than I was like several hours ago because I ran out of alcohol. I have this much, but I'm saving this for Game of the Year. So I'm a lot more sober. Like, compared to when we started the stream, you're dealing with a lot more sober of a sack. Anyway, yeah, I don't actually remember why Dream Drop Distance was this terrible. I remember I genuinely did not like it. I would have given it to Kingdom Hearts 3, but my list made it pretty clear that Dream Drop Distance was worse. And if I'm being honest with you, I trust past Sack more than I trust current Sack. Because past Sack had just played the fucking game. So if past Sack says that Dream Drop Distance is worse, Dream Drop Distance is worse. And that is why it is won. Because it ranked the furthest. I'm more sober because I only drank one little cup. And I have drank this entire bottle of champagne. Let's me learn. Don't drink so fast, I believe. More. And I drank this entire bottle of 100 proof vodka. You all believe I drank an entire bottle of 100 proof vodka, right? I drank an entire bottle of 100 proof vodka. So that's what you're dealing with. That was more than one? Nice. Nice. Take it in moderation, mate, though. I recommend waiting a few months before you have any more. Go see a doctor? Doctors are for pussies. Yeah. All right. Your liver is awful. My liver is a fucking god. My liver is a fucking physical deity. All right? Do you think your liver could take this? Whose liver do you think could take this? My liver could take this. All right? I'm good. I'm fucking fine. I'm fine. I'm Gucci, right? This is not the drunkest I've ever been. Words cannot describe how fucking... I should throw this out. Where's my garbage can? Words cannot describe how drunk I got during that Ultimax playthrough. Is that what your mom said before she became a housebound WoW player? She actually told me today that she is unsubscribed from WoW because she primarily plays Hunter and they are getting rid of the pets for Hunter, and she's like not about that life. Which I would say good, because that's what they did to my priest when they removed the ability for shadow priests to heal, and that's when I stopped playing WoW. So yeah, she's actually unsubscribed from WoW. Shit, and yeah, exactly, right? All right, Game of the Night is a really confusing fucking... What did I just do with my finger? Game of the Night's a really confusing category. Game of the Night is a category designed to give an award to a game that lost due to backdoor politics. So I will explain a little bit about the criteria. Basically, what's next? RuneScape? Probably... I don't know. I've been vaguely mentioning Final Fantasy XIV as something she might enjoy, but she did indicate she might play Yakuza, so I don't know, maybe Yakuza, I don't fucking know. Anyway, Game of the Night is a game, is awarded to so Game of the Night's special. Excuse me. This is designed to circumnavigate the issue with backdoor politics. And backdoor politics wins. So basically, if you are nominated for a category, because it's an honor to even be nominated, you get 1 point. If you would have won a category, but you lost because of backdoor politics, you get 2 points. Hey, Kato, you're coming in on the fucking tail end of this stream. How are you doing? I'm fucked up. But I've been fucked up for so long, I'm starting to sober up, is how long you waited to come in. How are you doing tonight? It's 2 points if you would have won it, but you lost only due to backdoor politics. And it's 3 points if you've actually won a category. So this night on Game of the Night, to honor everyone has been fucked up. Everyone's been drinking the entire night. It's a fucked up stream. So this right here is to honor the category that lost due to backdoor politics. We have nominees Neo 2, Scarlet Nexus, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Now, let's be real. I can't talk about the point system too much until the stream is over. So we're sort of in a situation. This is coffee. I ran out of alcohol. I'm sorry. I know you want to see me get progressively more drunk as the stream goes on to the point where I start violating TOS. But I'm actually out. I drank all of my booze. The 4 games that nearly that were in nearly every category. You're not wrong. So here we go. I'll explain a bit more about this at the very end of the stream. But here we go. I don't drink, but I do have a nice cold soda sitting next to me. That counts. Nice. Nice. Honestly, drink. All right, fuck it. All I have is coffee. It's decaf, by the way. Also, booze and caffeine, that is a bad mix. It's not as bad as you think it is. The big issue with caffeine and like alcohol is that caffeine can actually mask some of the symptoms of alcohol, but I am aware I'm fucked up. There's no doubt in my mind that I'm fucked up. By the way, I have a little more fish that I'm going to eat after the end of the stream to try and sober myself up more because protein helps process the alcohols. So, I'm aware I'm fucked up. Also, this is decaf because I've switched to decaf because I'm going to, you know what? You're both very young. So, I'm going to give you a heads up. When you get older, your bladder starts acting up. And I realized that, like, drinking too much caffeine caused me to have a bit of a hyperactive bladder. So, I switched to decaf because I realized that if I drink too much caffeine, I will piss constantly. And I don't like that. So I've switched to decaf so I piss a normal amount of times. Y'all are going to hate getting old. Do not... Y'all are going to hate getting old. My bladder's already weak. Then you're really going to hate getting old. Caffeine also makes me explode. I'm telling you, whatever problems you think you have, imagine being old. Also, it's worth noting, I'm not actually all that old. Like, it's gotten to the point where I'm just old enough that I'm worried about getting older. I'm like, oh God, what if I'm actually... Because I'm not even middle-aged, is the crazy thing. I don't know if I would necessarily call myself young at this point, but I'm literally not middle-aged, and I'm, oh God, everything gets worse. Your body hurts worse, your bladder gets worse, your general heart, like, your heart beats harder, it is like, you get fatter, everything that is wrong with you now, except for maybe if you have, like, bad acne, is going to get progressively worse throughout the entire scope of your life, and you just have to deal with it. You're saying it gets worse. It does. It gets worse. You're 31. I'm not 31. That's a solid guess, though. You're, like, eerily close. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. You're 31. But anyway, yeah, game of the night. This is the game that this is the game that gets an award because of Backdoor Politics. This is the Backdoor Politics Award. I could have called it the Backdoor Politics Award, but that's not fun. Anyway, winner is... I already have chronic wrist and knee pain. I'm going to say this. My knee pain was caused by stress injuries. I'm like already quarter-life crisis, so I'm already worried this gets worse. Oh, when you approach your, like, late 20s, you're gonna have a fucking issue. But, like, when you're on the other end, sometimes you'll have a crisis, but it's mostly okay. Like, there are certain stages of your life where you're guaranteed to have fucking issues, where you're like, ah! So don't worry too much about it. But, anyway. I have bad sports injury in my right knee. Yeah. I will say this. My injuries, because I have bad knees also, which were caused by stress, because I have not been performing the actions that damaged my knees, I have actually had better knees going forward. Oh, pardon me. So, my knee health has actually been better than when I was in my early 20s. When I was in my earlier 20s, my knee health was actually a lot worse than it is currently, because I have not been performing the actions that fucked up my knees. So, there is a period of time where you might, specifically you, Kato, might actually have an improvement to your knee and wrist health. You might be like, oh, it's actually been a lot better, especially if you stop performing the action that damaged it. I've been doing a lot of gym stuff for my knee, yeah. I won't lie, I've thought about clocking out of this whole life thing once or twice, so I'm hoping it gets a little bit better, but, realistically. Don't do that. I don't think I need to say that. But, don't do that. But, yeah, so the crazy thing about life is that, studies have shown that it's just, a series of contentment. If you're absolutely miserable and you should hate life, people's disposition tends to generalize towards neutral. And if you're super happy and you should be enjoying everything and you're, I don't know, a billionaire or some bullshit, you still generalize towards neutral. So life is generally, a nice little blasé experience. So just, take the joys you can. The point of life. I'm going to let you in on the meaning of life, all right? That's what you get during this award ceremony. The meaning of life is to find your own meaning of life. So if there's something you've been looking to try it, right? If there's something that you're really passionate about, explore your passion. Progressively work towards things that will make you happy. Here's something that you don't really understand when you're young. He's spoiling Persona 3. Here's something you don't really understand when you're young. Life is about incremental happiness increases. If you wake up every morning and you're like, my bed sucks and I have back pain because I live in a shitty bed, fix your bed. If there's something that's mildly inconvenient to you that you hate dealing with, fix it, and you will be surprised at how much your quality of life improves. Minor incremental increases are genuinely the secret to lifelong happiness. Make yourself progressively more happy. Every time you encounter something in your life that you're like, I fucking hate this, just try and progressively fix that thing. And you'd be surprised at how much better your overall life is going to be. Is that the plot of Office Space? I think you're oversimplifying Office Space and what I'm saying. But if you want to take your life lessons from Office Space, I wouldn't hate it, because Office Space is a pretty solid movie. Anyway, here's Game of the Night. The game that deserves an award just because it got fucked over by too much backdoor politics. It's Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance! Oops. I'm so drunk I can't accurately. I feel this way going to the gym. You used to feel terrible at everything, super down, but starting working out regularly have changed dramatically. Yeah, you're getting it. They're getting it. Yeah, it's I wish I had the life advice I could give you at 100, where I'm here's what I've learned over being alive for 100 years. But I have what I have, and what I have learned is that life is about incremental happiness gains. Even if it seems small, if it's something you end up encountering repetitively, you'd be shocked at how much overall your disposition will improve just by those minute changes to your day-to-day routine. If you hate the flavor of your toothpaste, changing to a different toothpaste genuinely might make a real difference. It's crazy. That is what life is about. Finding your purpose in life is about the meaning of life is finding out what you would like to do with your life, what makes you happy, and then incrementally, very minutely, minimalistically increasing your joys in life. Damn, the church really pay to keep this shit down. Yeah, so game of the night, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance won the Game of the Night award, which is not the same as the Game of the Year award. Do not get it twisted. Game of the Year is the best game of 2024. Game of the Night is the game that got fucked over the hardest by backdoor politics. So, Shin Megami Tensei 5 is our winner. Excuse me. Also, I think I would recommend all of these games. All of these are pretty solid. Okay. Oh, go ahead and let me know if you think it would be better to put Game of the Night before Worst Game of the Year. Like, do you think I should do Worst Game of the Year and then Game of the Year, or should I do Game of the Night after Game of the Year? We'll figure that out for the next year. Okay, so we're done with Game of the Night. All that's left is the biggest, most important award of the entire year. This is what we're all waiting for. This is what this 2-hour and 31-minute stream is all about. It is time for Game of the Year. This is the best game I played in 2024. And with that, we are back with the alcohol. We are back with the champagne. The remaining half glass of champagne. Why'd that taste like blood? That was weirdly blood flavored. That was weirdly blood flavored. That second sip did not taste blood flavored, but that first sip, I got a little blood in there. Because it's blood you're coughing up because you drink all this shit. Hey, I only drank an entire bottle of 100 proof vodka and an entire bottle of champagne. That's not that much alcohol. Any normal person can drink that much alcohol. This is a totally normal amount of alcohol for a single award ceremony for... How long have I been streaming? 2 hours and 33 minutes? That's normal. Anyone would drink that much. You drink it up for me to clean my way down. Oh yeah, Game of the Year. This is the big award. This is the award we're all building up to. This is the award where I'm gonna beat the shit out of the Game Awards. Although I think the Game Awards are a little more relevant because it's whatever game came out last year. But fuck that. Game of the Year. Best game I played last year. We have Nioh 2, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, and Unicorn Overlord. Now, of course, Nioh 2... I'm glad I could share my Coke bottle with your champagne. I'm aware of how you say it, but it's so... Just try saying out loud the word champagne. Right? Yeah, it's fun as shit. By the way, I'm genuinely out of alcohol now. It's just coffee. This is it. This is it for the rest of the night. I probably, at the end of the stream, when the stream is over... I have because I normally drink a bottle of Powerade on Mondays. I'll probably drink it tonight just for the hydration purposes. Because as I pointed out, I have to get up early tomorrow. So. Did you pre-game the stream? No, I started drinking when the stream starts. I only drink on stream, actually. I think I've mentioned this before. I only drink when I stream. Otherwise, I'm sober throughout the course of the entire month. So basically, I get drunk once every 2 months, which is actually genuinely not that bad. We're the bad influence. Yeah, it's only for like dialogue tree and dialogue tree related events where I get drunk. At this point, like the bottle of champagne for the award ceremony is just because I've done it 3 years running at this point. Like, but like I'm not much of a drinker. I will say, because I have the good fortune of being a happy drunk, I don't mind being drunk, but I'm not addicted to it. The game is so bad, Sega has to go. Oh god, yeah. Kingdom Hearts 3 was at that level, and I was just doing it because I knew I was gonna get fucked up. That, like, if I didn't know I had to drink twice this month, I would have gotten absolutely fucked up. Look at you. I wouldn't necessarily say I don't have an addictive personality, but I don't struggle with alcohol, which is a good factor for me. I'll let everyone know a little secret about how much alcohol I drank at the end of the stream. Once we announce Game of the Year and we're willing to start spoiling people's eggs, I'll let everyone in on a little bit of a secret. But anyway, so Game of the Year, Nioh 2 is a game I talked up. I described me being able to make, it's got nominated a bunch of times. Fun game. I described having the main character as I was able to make a main character so hot it was distracting. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is like Bloodborne, but for me, is the maid time to clean my window drunk? Probably not. I think maid's only had, I think she's only had like 1 or 2 glasses, right? She might be a little tipsy. Here's my prediction. I'm gonna say maid's a little tipsy, if anything. Actually, maid's a real lightweight. I'm gonna say maid's tipsy, but not like drunk. That's my guess. I'll let her answer, but that's my guess. My guess is tipsy, but not drunk. At my worst, I was moaning when I pooped. Yeah, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, what most people feel about Bloodborne is what I feel about Sekiro. Because Bloodborne is a game all about being aggressive, whereas Sekiro is a game all about, now I'm just kind of dizzy. Yep, see, I was right. Yep, you're tipsy but not drunk. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is a game about being defensive. And everyone knows from my Soulsborne experiences that I'm all about defensive gameplay. So this is really this is my wheelhouse. It's like a Bloodborne, it's like a Soulsborne game made specifically for me. SMT5 Vengeance, I mean, this has won literally 2 awards tonight and has been nominated for almost every category. This game is absolutely phenomenal. I talked up this game a fucking metric ton. And then, of course, Unicorn Overlord is a nice little, published by Atlas, vanillaware game, which it's very strategy, almost real-time strategy-esque game, sort of similar to a Fire Emblem, which we don't have a Fire Emblem this year because I didn't play a Fire Emblem in 2024. As crazy as that is it wrong to still be hopeful for a Bloodborne PC release? I think there's a non-zero chance of a Bloodborne PC release. People say it's never going to happen. I would not be surprised because Sony has been progressively moving more. Sony has been moving more games onto PC, so I would not be very surprised. Like Fire Emblem walks out. Steam and PC, Xbox Game Pass have been receiving tons of recent, so I must hold on home. Well, we all know I'm a pretty big Fire Emblem fan. This is still not, I want to be clear, This is not, I don't know why the alcohol's hitting me harder than the last several years. This is not as drunk as I was during the Ultimax stream. Like, if I want to get across anything, I was so fucked up playing Ultimate. In order to get through Ultimax, my brain was deleted temporarily. It was nuts. But anyway, yeah, Game of the Year. This is the big award, everyone. This is what we're, because I don't have an anime award. Otherwise, the anime award would be the big award. But this is the game award. This is the award. This is the award. You think the game awards are good? Who won that? Fucking... It wasn't Black Myth Wukong, actually. It was, who actually won the game award? Who fucking cares? Sack left me alone for like 15 minutes straight during Ultimate. My brain turned off during Ultimax. Astrobot? What the fuck is Astrobot? What the fuck is Astrobot? Astrobot was awesome? I'll take your word for it. What the fuck? PS5 trilogy? What thingy? What the fuck? Alright, anyway. Anyway, this is the definitive 2024 game award. Even though I don't think any of these games came out in 2024. This is a platformer? That's crazy. That's wild. So, the most important award tonight, the award everyone has wanted, is Game of the Year. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That is correct. Everyone is surprised. The winner is, in fact, a fucking FromSoft game? Are you kidding me? There are people who were making bets in the background that are just, like, throwing their fucking bottles and their cards. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's right. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. The best game I played in 2024. I still think about this game to this day. I still want to go back and play it. Now, not saying anything bad about any of these other games. Unicorn Overlord is the worst one here, by the way. Just as a heads up. Not that I wouldn't say don't play it, but I would say it's a little more niche compared to Neo 2, Sekiro, and SMT5 Vengeance. I would definitely recommend the other three over Unicorn Overlord, though, for sure. I think it's very overrated by the Fire Emblem crowd. The people that, like, say that Unicorn Overlord is, like, the best are, like, mostly the Thracia crowd. It's a good game. I definitely liked it. I don't want to shit-talk it specifically because Game of the Year, it's an honor to even be nominated. But, like, it is the one probably least deserving of the list because I played a little bit of a weak games last year. But, like, the other three games are fantastic. Sekiro above all else. A FromSoft game winning another award. Keep in mind, I think this is the first time a FromSoft game has ever won an award in the entire 3-year history of this. Especially because I'm such a huge FromSoft detractor. I will normally take any opportunity I can to shit on them. So this is actually a pretty big deal that they got the Game of the Year award. But there's no denying it. Like, as far as Souls-like games, Sekiro was an amazing, though, so I'm pleased with the outcome. Yeah, Sekiro is a game that, so people always talk about, like, Bloodborne being so special to them because Bloodborne is a game that focuses on hyper-aggression, and the thing about Sekiro is it is the exact opposite of Bloodborne. People say that, like, Bloodborne doesn't feel like a Soulsborne game because its combat system is entirely different, but it isn't. It's exactly the same as the others. In fact, mechanics from Sekiro actually are in Elden Ring. I've only played one of those games, so I don't get an opinion. I'd recommend all of them. I think. But anyway, obviously because they were nominated for Game of the Year, right? But yeah, so I've only played Sekiro and Neo. So Sekiro is like, people say that it plays completely different from all of the Souls-like games from Software, and they're wrong. because I played Sekiro exactly like I play every other game. It's a well-known thing, if you've seen me stream during Curtain Call, that I play the Dark Souls games and the Demon Souls very defensively. Very, very defensively. And the same defensive tactics I use in those games, I use in Sekiro. That's also why I disagree with Bloodborne so hard, is because that game prioritizes aggression, whereas Sekiro is the polar opposite. It prioritizes defense. It plays functionally the same, and those mechanics are imported into Elden Ring, although hidden. Like, the poise break system is in Elden Ring, they just don't show you the bars. So, Sekiro is to Bloodborne, like, to most people's version of Bloodborne, Sekiro is that to me, right? It is a Soulsborne game. It is a Souls-like game where the exact combat system is tailored specifically to my personage. And I absolutely love the defensive-based combat. I like how you're able to augment your combat styles with different ninja tools, which allow you to almost sort of like cheat into a counter. So I played Sekiro very aggressively. I just wanted to be an awesome ninja samurai. Absolutely love that. I like the characters. I think it has one of the stronger storylines overall. Not enough to be nominated for the narrative or the characters' plot lines. Although I did consider it for the characters and the narrative awards, but it ended up kind of losing out to everything else that got actually nominated. But yeah, I like the story and the characters. It has one of the best puzzle bosses and folding screen monkeys. Sekiro is just like an overall great game. Like, to the point where I don't know if I've ever said this on live on stream. I might actually say that this might be the best Souls-like game I've ever played. I might put this over Dark Souls 2, and even more importantly, I think Sekiro might be better than Code Vein, if you can believe that. As much as I've talked up those games, I think Sekiro might be not just the best From Software game, but the best Souls-like game. That is how far down I am on Sekiro. Sekiro is fucking fantastic, and I think about it to this day. There's probably genuinely not a day that goes by that I don't at least passingly think about Sekiro. Sekiro, absolutely fantastic. Definitely deserving Game of the Year. Arguably the worst Game of the Year winner that we've ever had, because I have only played really long games last year, but I do not think that matters, because that's what we're competing for, 2024, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, winner of Game of the Year. And with that, we're done with all of the award categories. Hopefully everyone had a good time. I'm going to say that with the end of the award categories, we're probably done with the bulk of the stream. So now I think we can talk about a little bit of hidden bullshit that I probably should not let you in on. A lot of hidden secrets. So, excuse me. I remember there's one little hidden secret I was going to talk about that I literally forgot about. So if everyone remembers what I said I was going to talk about at the end of the stream, yeah, mask off, exactly. As everyone has known, because this is the third year we've done these fucking stream, there's a bit of a hidden rule about what is capable of winning. So you're allowed to be nominated regardless of your situation. But remember that different awards have different levels of prestige. So you're only eligible to win one award as far as games go. And so what the backdoor politics refers to is games that were not able to win an award due to the fact that they ended up winning a more prestigious award. So the closer you are, the later into the stream you are to Game of the Year, the more prestigious the award. And so you end up getting disqualified if you're going to win a later award. And so what a backdoor politics loss is if you would have won were you not to have won a better, more prestigious award. So, case in point, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice lost in gameplay to Nioh 2. But it actually would have won the gameplay award, but it was not eligible to win the gameplay award because it was going to win Game of the Year. Now, going back to the beginning of the stream, you brought this up, like, how the fuck did Digimon win Best Soundtrack? we're getting to that, because Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance actually would have won 4 awards tonight. But it actually lost because it was set to win the Best Narrative Award. If it were not to win the Best Narrative Award, it would have also won the Best Visuals Award over Scarlet Nexus, and it would have won the Best Soundtrack Award over Digimon World Next Order. But because it was going to win a more prestigious award, it was disqualified from winning the lesser awards. Now, the weird thing about SMT5 Vengeance, as far as the award ceremony goes, is that Vengeance had a better soundtrack than Next World Order, but you'd be surprised at how close that was, actually. Like, both of them had absolutely banger soundtracks all the way through. As far as best visuals go, the reason Scarlet Nexus actually won is, theoretically, it would have probably lost out to both Vengeance and Raincoat. But Raincoat won the Best Characters Award, and Vengeance won the Best Narrative Award. So actually, only the third best thing won Best Visuals, specifically because Raincoat and Vengeance were already set to win better, more prestigious awards. Crazy enough. As for Game of the Night, I described the rating criteria for how many points things are used to qualify. Technically, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice tied with Master Detective Archives Raincoat, but I ended up giving it to Sekiro because of the Game of the Year win, and also because it should have won Game of the Year, whereas there would have been a loss for Master Detective Archives Raincoat. So, technically, that is how that works. There was one other thing I was going to talk about the award ceremony. Does anyone remember what that is, or are we just going to have to forget about that for tonight? I'm going to scroll through comments to see if anything triggers me. Well, anyway, those are the criterias we have going forward for this award ceremony. That's basically the idea behind, like, the backdoor politics. That's the backdoor politics. I always talk about the backdoor politics and what it takes to win an award at the end of the every stream, because if I reveal to you what it requires, like, who is eligible to win, once you see someone win an award, you're like, well, that's fucking over. Which is also part of why the Game of the Night award exists, because, like, it's like crazy. Like, Vengeance got like 10 points, and I think the second place option got like 6 points. Like, Vengeance won Game of the Night by a fucking mile. It was crazy. It was, like, nominated for everything. Very solid games tonight. Hopefully everyone had a good time. Oh, you know what I was going to talk about? I was going to talk about the secret of how much alcohol I actually drink. Okay. All right. Down low. All right. No one tell anyone. Going forward, you are going to see me drink a lot of alcohol on stream. So, all right. The champagne. This is Andre California champagne. This is brut. This is just like regular fermented champagne. Did I drink an entire bottle of champagne tonight? I absolutely did. 100% drink a full bottle of champagne during the stream. But SMT5. All right, what do we got? Suffering from success. Yeah. Oh, if you're wondering why I have the rule that you can only win one award based on how high your prestige is, the reason is because there is a viable scenario, and you see this in, like, the game awards, as it's called, all the time, where if something is good enough, it could theoretically sweep the entire award show. It is to prevent a Game of the Year from just sweeping everyone. Because, like, how boring would it be if I had, like, a game that was, like, I don't know, like, Gnome Fucks is the name of the game, right? Like, what if Gnome Fucks won best soundtrack, best gameplay, best visuals, best best narrative, best characters, and best game? Like, how boring would that be? So the reason everything is limited to winning only one award is because I'm specifically preventing something from just sweeping, which is totally possible. Like, as we pointed out, Vengeance could have won 4 awards tonight, That would be too many. So it is designed to prevent a complete award sweep, which is totally possible. And I don't even feel bad about that. I do not feel bad about that. So, I thought of something while I was talking about the award sweep, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. So Vengeance could have swept the entire award ceremony. And it's basically designed to prevent... It's designed to prevent that exact issue from occurring. So... That's why you're only allowed to win one award. But I also feel bad if you don't win multiple awards, if you deserve to, which is why we have the new Game of the Night award. If you have any other suggestions for awards, go ahead and let me know. Maybe next year I'll do an anime one. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But oh yeah. Here's the secret. Don't let anyone know. You only get this by finding out at the end. This is in fact a bottle of 100 proof Smirnoff vodka. That is right, 50% alcohol by volume. You might be thinking, Sack, there's no fucking way you drank an entire fucking bottle of champagne and an entire bottle of 100 proof vodka. And you're still conscious enough to stream. And, I didn't. I finished this bottle of vodka forever ago. Actually did it on stream with, I think, like a Midori Sour or a fucking screwdriver. I put water in this. This is water. So if you're like, Sack should be fucking dead from alcohol poisoning, if this was full of like actual vodka, yes, absolutely, you're correct. This is water. I've been drinking water the entire stream. And I will continue to do this. You will only hear this. You will only hear the reveal that this bottle is full of... I actually thought you were saying... You will continue to see me drink out of this bottle. And this is the... I will tell you that this is full of water once every year. Alright, next stream... On the third annual Dialogue Tree Awards, I will reveal that this is full of water once again, and I will reveal the award category criteria once again. But in every other stream, in every other dialogue, you will see me drinking out of this bottle, and this is only for people who catch the award ceremony. I'm drinking water the entire time. I'm not fucking suicidal. I would die live on stream if that was actually vodka. That's the secret you're privy to. If that was 100 proof vodka, I would just... The stream would keep going for like the next 34 hours and I'd be on the floor. So, anyway. Yeah, that's the awards ceremony. Hopefully everyone had a good time. I had a fucking blast. I'm going to eat a little more fish to sober myself up. But like I said, I have to do something very early, which is why we streamed so early tonight. But yeah, Kato, Maid, Alex, thanks for everyone who stopped by. I'm mostly sober at this point, crazy enough. I'm a little tipsy. I'm a little drunk. I would go so far as to say I'm drunk. But I'm doing okay. So hopefully everyone had a good time. And I hope to see you next award ceremony and next stream. As far as we talk about next stream, we obviously have 2 streams lined up after we finished Kingdom Hearts. So everyone knows that after we finish a game, we're locked into an next Sacking Mal Eternal. So we have Sacking Mal Eternal. What year is this? What year are we going to do? 1997? Is it? 1997, isn't it? Hold on. I haven't done a Sacking Mal Eternal in forever. We're going to find out what year it is. Let's see. 1995? I think we did 1996. I think I just haven't released the episode yet. I'm going to say 1996, 1997 is what you're getting next time. And we're also going to do Sacking Mal... Winter 2025. I'm going to say that I will probably do Winter 2025 before Eternal, because I think Winter 2025 is... Oh, yeah. because I think winter 2025 is more important. Because it's more relevant. But yeah, so winter 2025, Sacking Mal, and then Sacking Mal Eternal, and then what's that? KOTOR Sith Lords, right? KOTOR 2 Sith Lords? Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic Sith Lords. So look forward to that. Will I get to that next year? I don't know, probably. Or next year? Yes, I will get to that before next year, actually. Will I get to that next week? Probably. I'll keep you posted. Check it out on the Discord. But yeah, thanks for stopping by, everyone. Hope you had a good time. And just for completion's sake, I forgot to do this last year, but I'm going to collapse under the stage now. So I've been Sacrabalic. Look, I might not have drank as much alcohol as I pretended to, but I am genuinely inebriated right now. And some bangers, 97 Berserk, Perfect Blue, and Ava, Cutie Honey, Flash. The thing is, Utena was 1997? God, why did I think Utena was owner? I will be talking... if I've watched them, I probably... if I reviewed them, I won't probably be describing the synopsis of that. But anyway, yeah. Sacrabalic, your envoy hope. See you next time. Bye-bye.